We share, Mr. Brasher. We are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, patriots. Good evening, flat earth believers.
Good evening, everybody.
Dana doesn't find it as funny.
Good evening.
Dana, why don't you say hello, introduce yourself, and maybe tell what you do for a living or whatever you want to
Yeah, okay.
explain.
Yep. Well, my name is Dana Siemens. Probably shouldn't have said my last name, but oh well.
No,
Um,
everybody knows. No
yeah.
matter.
Um, and um, yeah, I've been a conspiracy theorist starting back in the 1990s. And it all began with when we attacked Saddam Hussein. And I called ABC up, and Saddam had said that he had voiced what was occurring, and the media lied about it. And I called up, I believe it was ABC News, and told them, hey, that isn't what he said at all. And he could speak English. And
Right.
and that was my awakening.
That was
Since
the
that
beginning of the
time,
end.
I've worked in Washington, D.C., I worked in the Pentagon, Crystal City. I've been involved with different aspects of the military. I was not part of the military, but I was contracted. And so there's things that I know, inside information that I know that I don't think I did sign what is that, a non-disclosure? But I don't
Yes.
think this has anything to do with the non-disclosure. It had to do with the information that I was dealing with at the time. So this is outside of that. And so I have information relative to what occurred that normal people wouldn't know. And so that may or
What
may
we're
not come
looking
out
for.
tonight. But anyways, since that time, I've been following a variety of different conspiracy areas and, um, ranging from tonight's topic of the flat earth. And I can actually prove that it's a flat earth. Everybody can go out and they can prove that it's a flat earth. Um, all the way up to who attacked us on 9/11, um, a variety of different things. 1871, with
That's huge,
when
1871.
when
It's
we
when we were
transferred, yeah,
doing
yeah, when we transferred the government from the independence of the United States to the U.S. corporation. That was the
corporation,
beginning. Yep.
United
And
States
so,
of America, which makes it a
yeah,
corporation.
yep, yep.
The
So,
wording, people.
did you see, as a side note, did you notice Trump? He didn't say the United States of America. He just said America.
America.
Yeah, I
I know.
noticed that. But anyway, since that time, a variety of different areas that I'm pursuing. One of my biggest interests is finding out about the RV, finding out about our Social Security, what that truly means, the exposure, um, researching what I believe, and I haven't had it confirmed, but what I believe to be um, the ability at birth, we're given certain monies from the Treasury, et cetera. So I'm
Hmm.
researching that now and trying to gain a better understanding. So I've been doing this for a long time. I follow a lot of different podcasts, and um, yeah, okay. So
That's
um,
got my attention with that resume. I
yeah,
love it. So
a
you and
full
I, we
ID and
we
everything.
pretty much believe in a lot of the same things. It's not, but the flat earth, I've always been 50-50 with. So I'm
Mm,
interested in it,
yeah,
but I have a hard time accepting it. And there's reasons why, but I think we'll get into that later.
I
Um,
look forward to it.
God. Um, do you want to read that poem now, or you want to wait?
I sure can.
Yeah,
No, no,
let's
no,
hear this.
no. Yeah,
Let's
okay.
start the show with
Yeah, a
the
little bit of humor. Yeah.
I
So there were these there were these two finalists, okay, for a national poetry contest. And one was a university student, and the other one was this country bumpkin. And so they made it into the finals, and it came up to the last poem that they needed to do. And so they had to use the word Timbuktu. So the university student steps up and says, okay. He says, here we go. He says, on a lonely desert sands, cross a lonely caravan. Men on camels, two by two, destination Timbuktu. That audience went crazy. Yeah, they thought that was fantastic. So the country bumpkin steps up and says, Tim and I off hunting went, found three maidens in a pop-up tent. They were three and we were two. So I bucked one and Tim bucked two.
oh
That was good, man. I liked it. That was good.
you didn't create that yourself, right?
No,
No, that's
no.
really cute. Uh, we always try to start the show off with some kind of humor because it's really crazy, not only what we believe in, but what actually is happening and what we're seeing. But I think what Dana and I like to do, and sometimes even Joe gets involved, is look at what we're not seeing. Because
Mhm.
what we don't know is actually more relevant sometimes. Would you agree, Dana?
Yeah,
Or what
I
we
think there's a
don't
lot.
see or don't hear about, not on the media at least, not on the stations that we're
Most of the
used to.
information, yeah, most of the information doesn't come from media, the line media.
Right, right.
You can believe nothing that they put out, and that includes whether it's conservative, Fox News, or whether it's liberal through the other means, the CNN. Is CNN still in operation, by the way?
Yes, they are.
But
Can you
anyways,
believe
yeah,
I think Trump got them.
Unreal, right?
yeah, agreed,
Well, they got
agreed.
really low ratings now. There's no hardly anybody's watching them.
Nobody wants to watch
Yeah,
because they all know.
Nope.
We all know.
We know they're gonna lie to us. We all know that.
yeah.
I think even they know they're gonna be
It's not
lied
even
to
that
now.
they're going to lie to us. They have been lying to us for
Well, yeah, right.
decades.
And well,
Well,
there you go. Tell
I
me
mean,
who
that
don't.
came from Obama. What was it, 2012? And I can't remember the act that he signed, but he signed a document that said
Right.
that the media was allowed to lie to us.
Yes, they were.
They didn't
Yes, he
have to
Yes,
tell
did.
the truth anymore.
propaganda. He legalized
Propaganda.
propaganda.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
legalized.
He brought it
yeah,
back
exactly.
because
Yeah.
it was and wasn't and was and wasn't and we
That was part of his way of helping the cabal screw up our country the way they did in these
right.
recent years.
Yeah. No, agreed, Joe.
Yeah,
Absolutely agreed. So,
yeah.
yep.
All right.
And thank
Fortunate for
heavens
us.
that I mean, as everyone probably knows, that I'm going to move this to the side a little bit. Um, there was a 16-year plan to destroy the country,
Yes.
and Trump stepped in. And if it wasn't for, and it wasn't just Trump, it was
Shall we
others.
say
Trump
that?
was asked.
Mm-hmm.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, when do
Okay.
you think Trump was asked?
That is a very good question.
Because I have a feeling it
In
was
the
before
90s.
2000.
In the
Uh,
90s.
He made the
Listen,
comment back then. You're right, Joe. He made the comment back then that he didn't want to run, but then if things were,
If
got,
his
that
country
bad,
needed
maybe
him
he
to,
would
he would.
consider. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but it wasn't that. It was out of nowhere. I learned that Jesse Ventura went up to Trump in 1999, asked him to make the Reform Party. Now, we all know Ventura is a conspiracy theorist.
Yes.
yeah, he
So
is.
why would he go up to Trump in 1999 and say, hey, this is the Event Horizon year. Can you please run for
Wow.
president? Do
Yeah.
something like The Apprentice so you can learn all of Hollywood.
So Trump and JFK Jr. were very good friends.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think there was information that was transferred there. I have pictures of JFK living um, into the, what is it, 2020, I don't know, the early 2020s, whether it's 21, 23, whatever, but there's pictures of him still living. And I also have pictures of his body double. And supposedly that day, the body double was the one that was murdered. And now they're releasing the videos that
Hmm.
shows that the driver turned around and actually shot him. That was
Yes.
one shot.
Yes.
And then you had the guy that was behind the grassy knoll behind the fence. He admitted that he shot Trump as well. And supposedly there was
Care,
another
just
one.
don't bother me. My son just got home. Sorry about that.
Ah, good. Oh,
Well,
good.
we're not professionals, Joe. Um,
He's
thinking,
hungry.
um, oh, hey, Alan. Hey, Joseph. Okay, so we got some people watching, so we can move on, but uh, getting back to JFK, you're talking about his father also, or just Junior?
Both.
Right. So a lot of
Both.
people don't realize that Trump actually hugged, oh, that's right, you were talking about Dad before he
Yeah.
passed. And I think he passed in
Before he was
what?
shot? Before he was shot?
No, no.
No.
At- let's get this straight. At one of the rallies, Trump had a bunch of Vietnam vets, and
Yeah.
one of them was JFK Sr., still alive. Dana was
Yeah.
explaining that the body double got shot by the driver. And I've told you guys this.
Yeah,
If
well,
you've
we
ever
saw that. Didn't we see some kind of a video on that
I
once?
was just trying to say that if you guys haven't seen Bob Dylan's video about Kennedy, his song, it's like 16, 17 minutes long, but it definitely shows the Secret Serviceman telling, well, at least the head guy, telling the others to back off from Kennedy's car.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere a gun came from. It had to be the driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
It had
Agreed.
to be.
Yeah.
And was it Kennedy's wife? Was it Jackie O sitting next to him or no? Then that's another.
I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm not sure what you can see here.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Yep, could see
But
it.
that was
Yep.
Kennedy. Yeah. And a pilot. I saw another video. A pilot swore on a stack of Bibles that he actually took Junior up to the top of Mount Rushmore with a helicopter and dropped him off. And this was, I believe, I can't remember
The
exactly, but I
rally.
believe he said, while Trump was there on the 4th of July.
Yeah,
It was.
that
It
was
was the
at that
rally.
rally. Yeah, I
The
remember the
rally
rally he did there.
where JFK Jr. had his arms out. Well, you can't see me right now, but yeah, his arms were out. He was like, yeah, and there's no way you're not allowed up there. Not like that. Only in the
No,
movies, you know? It's you'd probably have to pay millions and it would go to taking care of the stones. But yet this guy was on top of there. Oh, I think it was before Trump's rally.
Hmm.
and then I just know that he was there. You know what? I apologize.
Oh, I have the
It looks like
picture.
I'm looking out. I'm not looking down. My camera is low on this, so
It's
my
okay.
apologies.
No worries,
But
Dan.
because I'm looking at you guys as you're talking, and my camera's down low, so please forgive me.
No
Yeah,
worries.
yeah.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
But
it's
Just
there's,
be comfortable because,
yeah.
we want to get into this discussion.
yeah.
I'm glad we're
No, I'm
starting off.
finding this one very interesting.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm glad we're starting off slowly with
You know who that is? Can you
No,
read the T-shirt?
I see dead people too.
Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn
Get
Monroe.
out of here, you lie.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
Is
they're
that
yeah,
it?
all alive.
yeah,
Who was
yeah.
Jimmy Morrison? Let's find out.
Oh, good question.
Do we know? Do you know, Dana? Or do you
I
know the
don't know.
conspiracy
No,
that
Jimmy.
it was
I
Rush? Rush
No, I
Limbaugh?
don't think so. That's a
Wait,
hard one for
Oh,
me to
I
believe.
don't doubt it. No.
That's a hard one.
It's, they've been doing this for a very long time.
I know,
They've
but
been
that's still a hard one for
cutting
me
up
to believe.
human bodies and redecorating people and having body doubles for 100
a
or so years.
long
Kings and
time.
queens had body doubles,
Okay.
right?
The-
There's Junior. Yep.
And
Michael Jackson.
it's
Yes, I've shown that before, and that's Trump hugging uh
JFK.
Kennedy. Yeah.
JFK. Yeah.
Yep. So I have a lot of
So
oh, you know what? Since she's been in the news,
who's that?
who do you think Amy Barrett is?
Oh, good question. I don't
There he
know.
is. Yes,
Yeah.
I have these very same I'm telling you guys, I have to look through my phone. I have like thousands of pictures, same ones.
I save all that
I
stuff.
know.
I have a
I know.
special file. Oh, hold it just a
I
second.
wish I
Here,
had a special file.
you'll love this one.
Yeah, yep, with the doggy. Yep. I have that one too.
Yeah,
See,
that's
guys?
his. Yeah.
That's the probably the one that was shot.
Yes. Well, are you ready for this one? Here, this'll, there you go. And there's a
Yes.
date on the Dallas, the day after, and it says that Kennedy survived,
Yep.
you know?
Now, why is
So,
that?
yeah. And yeah,
Hmm.
Yep. Oh my God, that's just like my father too with the oh my God. Um, yeah, I'm actually a believer. I wasn't sure about JFK Senior, but I know Junior survived.
mhm,
I have those same pictures, and they did, the newspapers have the media has always succumbed to the money or has always been controlled by the elites. Because even Dewey and Truman's election, they all thought
mhm.
Dewey was going to win. Am I right?
You're right. You're right. At the
Yeah,
last minute.
I think you
Yeah,
are.
Last
they
minute.
turned it.
Hmm.
Well, so there's also another one supposedly, and I haven't confirmed this, so take this with a grain of salt, that all presidents since almost all presidents have been members of the royal family under King Edward, I think it is, King
Hmm.
Edward the second, third, whatever it was. So I've seen that too. That's at this point, it's still hearsay. That's not confirmed, but
That all
I've heard
presidents
that
were related to him?
we're related. We're
All right.
related to the King of England.
I don't think it was all that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all men. Now, just because presidents were all men doesn't mean their wives weren't involved. Because I am positive Nancy Pelosi is probably related to Nancy Reagan somewhere along the line. They're all, I think they're Clinton too. Clinton is from England, Hillary.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
what's his
she's the
name?
most evil one of them all, though.
Of course she
She,
is. I'm
she's
telling you, there's
bad.
something with the matriarchy.
She's
But
bad.
Bill, I believe, was from Canada. And people seem to not understand that Canada is British rule.
Yeah,
It's always been. Yeah. Oh, Hillary's dead, guys. We have
yeah.
as much seen her dead. When was she arrested? Let's see if he agrees with us. Dana?
December 31st, 2018.
Yep.
Oh,
That
you
was
don't
the
think she
day
was taken in 9/11?
She was taken. I don't,
when
I
when she
did
went
not
to her
hear
daughter's
that.
apartment
The
and they
day, yeah,
brought
the
her out
day
in
that, yeah,
handcuffs.
she may have been killed.
Yeah, I saw that. It's Hillary
Okay,
Clinton.
stop.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
yeah,
Okay, stop it.
yeah. We saw that. Yeah, we know. I know. Yeah, yeah. We're seeing a body double of her.
Yeah.
That's what's out.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, I mean, there's
But I do wish my
pictures.
dad could have had seen the confirmation of her death, because he was really hurt when when she when they yes, yeah, when they decided to to um to let all those soldiers die over there in Benghazi. That hurt my dad so bad, because my dad was a soldier too. You know, I mean,
Oh,
and you didn't leave no man behind. That was the thing.
yeah, yeah.
No man left behind, and they left the man behind. They left a lot of men behind, and that
Same
really
thing with
upset my dad.
Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he wanted to see justice against that woman so bad,
yeah.
and he didn't get to see it because he's not a conspiracy theorist
Hmm.
at all. My dad was really rough to get to even believe a little bit of what I was saying. And
Yeah.
I was very far fetched, and I wasn't even nowhere near you and Carolyn at all. Right. My dad was just, he just would not believe some of this. I mean, everybody in this state thought I was fucking crazy. It turns out that not only was I not crazy, but it's worse than I thought, worse than I ever said.
Conspiracy truths.
Joe,
Yes.
Yes.
you got to pay
Yes.
attention to the chat, dude. I have a
What is
barking
it?
dog here. Okay, so let me say it.
So do I have chat down there too?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
Alan, what's
sure.
up, buddy?
Ellen has a question. How are you
Hey,
confirming these conspiracies? There's DNA that can be tested because there's living relatives to verify the conspiracies.
right.
Oh yeah, and the clocks are set tonight. That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan. So well, to me, I don't know what Dana's going to say, but my answer is just the connection of
Yeah.
everything. It would
Beautiful.
make it just you can't it's impossible. It's impossible for all these things to be coming out and to be connecting and intertwining with each other and not have any validity. Am I
Yeah.
wrong? 9/11. I was there, my friends. It, I said it right away. It was an inside job.
Yeah.
Is that gut feeling, or is that because I just didn't trust, maybe from Brooklyn, I just didn't trust anybody?
I saw the size, the initial size of the hole in the side of the Pentagon. It was from the gas station across the street, and it was only a 10-foot hole. Later on, within the last year and a half, you see that they shot a
Oh, wait a minute.
missile
Okay.
inside the side of the Pentagon. I
Yeah.
also know for a fact
Did something
the
happen?
people that were in
Fuck.
the basement, the first floor, and the second floor, they moved them out
Right.
and they said, we're going to do renovations. I was part of that group. And so I know that for a fact. And not only that, they never found any of the plane parts. Also,
A plane can't
over
do that.
in, yeah, also
Plane can't
in,
do that.
and yeah, I mean, a plane doesn't fit through a 10-foot hole.
No.
Those are 30-foot high ceilings, or the wall on the outside is like 30-foot tall. So 10 foot, no, no way. The other thing is that I heard, and I went to school to become a pilot and an air traffic controller. I heard the voice recordings from Cleveland and one of the planes, and I believe it was the plane that was supposed to go down in Pennsylvania, and they landed in Cleveland. And I heard the voice recording from the ATC, air traffic control, and the pilot, and they had landed, and then this occurred, and then they took off afterwards. So who knows what happened to all those people? I mean, anyone that knows anything knows that a plane, it's very questionable whether any plane went into those buildings. Maybe the
No.
first one, second one, questionable,
The
very
second one is
questionable.
absolutely questionable because I was
And
there to see
especially
the
when it
second
blew
one that I
out.
did not see.
It blew out the back side of the building. How and a plane collapses. If you take a look at the structure of a plane, it's made with aluminum, and those buildings were made with steel. How could you penetrate the steel with those planes? No.
Oh, a plane cannot go through a building and have the other side. I can't explain to you the size of these buildings, my friends. They are a whole block long, which is a block is like a quarter of a mile, square foot mile. I guess
Yeah.
in relevance. They're huge, you know?
And there's so many stories coming out about people in there doing structural work during that, just prior to that
yes, there
period
were
of time.
vans going, oh, I knew that back then.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
were vans going in 2004, I remember learning. Vans had gone in just like in 1993, they survived the bombing as well. The vans were underneath. They went into the basement. I think a few people died, but sorry, I don't remember. But that's what they did. They had these same vans go in with dynamite and they hooked it up on every floor or something. On those steel and iron structures.
And people that left the building that survived, they claimed afterwards that they heard explosions inside the building.
Yeah,
Not only that, but you look at Building 7. Building 7 collapsed. And if you look at the video of Building 7 collapsing, it was a demolition. So
absolutely. And what was
Yes,
in
that's
building
yeah.
7? Do you know what was in building 7?
supposedly there was an enormous amount of gold.
And what gold do we
Supposedly.
think that is? Fort
Fort Knox gold.
Knox's gold.
Yeah,
Yes. See,
possibly.
Dana and
Yeah.
I are on a similar page. This, by the way, all right, Dana is one person all the way on the West Coast. I'm on the East Coast. Joe is in the middle, in the South, and we have the same
Mm.
ideas. This, you have to understand, is not a regular thing that happens in this world.
It's not.
People have differences in color, favorite colors, but yet we have, he's going to say things that are going to hit home for me. Because as much as we talk, we still know different things. There's just like, for example, I believe there's a missile that came out of the Woolworth building. And that's what hit the second building of the World Trade Center. Or it could have been even the first one. Yes, it was the first one. Because they had said that there was a call from the Woolworth. There was a giant explosion on the top floor.
Excuse me.
And that's why, but nobody paid attention to it because 9/11 happened.
Mm.
It got some recognition. Police
Yeah.
went there or whatever, but then 9/11 happened not 20 minutes later. So they ran, and of
I'm not
course,
familiar enough with New York City to understand the Woolworth building. So
well, I would say the missile would have had to fly up, but it was on the top floor. What did they hit? The 88th floor? You know what? Maybe it didn't have to fly up.
so the
It's
angle of it coming up from the ground, it looked like it came in lateral, but who knows? I mean, a lot of that
no, the
was
wall is big.
CGI.
It's a big building. It's a tall building. I'm not exactly
Oh,
sure how many floors, but if the planes didn't hit the top floors either.
right.
Close to the top, not quite the top.
No, I think it was like the 80 something. It's okay, but getting back to it, Mac actually
So
or
you
Ellen wants
did
to know.
not. Oh,
Huh?
good. I'm sorry,
He
Phil.
actually wants to know if we have any DNA confirmed. Not us, but I
DNA
guarantee Trump
on
does.
JFK.
Yeah, because pictures can be docked.
Well, let's see.
I could Photoshop tons of pictures to make them look real.
But you saw the picture of Trump hugging an elderly man, and
Trump
it's the
hugs a lot of
same
people.
man. No, it's the same man that was in those other pictures that I brought up. The same man.
Why would that same man have meant more pictures? You see, who do you think is putting out these clues, Dana?
Well, I mean, the easy answer there is to say Q, but then you go back to the white hats, which is made up of Q. And who's, okay, So let's go back to the history of Q. Okay, so I guess there's a book of the Bible, and it's called Q. I don't know much about it, so if there's others out there that do know, I can't speak to that. I've heard that. I haven't read it. It was taken out by the Vatican, um, and that was one of the books. So you have Lincoln, who started an organization called Q. And that was supposedly people that are in a close proximity to him that could provide feedback because he was afraid he was going to be assassinated. Then JFK, he started an organization called, or restarted it, called Q as well. And I suspect all of this, all of the, um, okay, it gets deeper yet because you look back in the 1950s, we had, okay, we're really pulling them out of left field here.
All right.
We had a
Gotta be done.
yeah, we had alien that came to visit, and there's pictures of him. There's a book that was written about it.
And he lived with
Commander Thor.
Truman, didn't he? Or
He did.
not
He did.
Truman, Ike. Was it
Oh,
Ike? Ike.
Eisenhower.
He lived
Eisenhower.
he lived
Yep.
for a year with Ike Eisenhower. An
You're right.
alien.
Yeah.
Eisenhower says this as much,
Yeah.
which is,
And
come on, people. What is
yeah.
that? Go on.
So, yeah, what is that? So I think what happened is when Eisenhower transferred the power over to Kennedy, there was an enormous, Kennedy did his best to try to transfer the country back. He was trying to go back to a gold standard. He tried to change the Federal Reserve note back to a US note.
Which kind of,
They didn't
I,
like it.
I don't mean to interrupt, but it makes me think that Kennedy was not, obviously not cabal. He's not part of
No, no.
Edward's relatives, but somebody in the Kennedy family must have been to put him in there, to make him say, hey, run for president. Or was it always like that for Kennedy? He was gonna win no
Yeah.
matter what.
I don't have an
Something,
answer for that.
there
It'd
are
be interesting.
questions where answers were
Yeah,
missing.
yeah.
Please
Um,
continue. I didn't mean to. There's
no,
there's
that's
um
good.
there's your cue, by the way. That's the cemetery.
Oh, that's in front of Arlington.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's the cemetery, folks.
Q.
It is
Um,
a queue.
You clearance.
Queue clearance.
but
Yeah.
supposedly Kennedy started up again, and oh man, okay, how far are we gonna get on this rabbit hole? You could go back to Trump and his father or his uncle, John Trump,
I just mentioned the
who
physicist John Trump the other day. Yes.
that worked with Tesla. And so you have the whole time machine, and going back in time, you have the books that reference Trump, um, with Barron Trump, also Donald Trump, the Tower, etc. I think we've had
By
uh,
Inglewood. That's by Inglewood, the books about the adventures of Baron Trump.
yeah,
They
yes,
mention Pence, they mention Fifth
yeah,
Avenue, they
yeah,
mention the name Trump
yeah,
in two books that were written in the late 1800s, 1890s, I believe.
yeah. I
Am I
think time
wrong?
travels. No, I think you're right. I think
Let
time
me
travel is
explain. Hold
very
on,
true.
Dana, because people don't get confused. Okay. It's not like we can really travel through. I mean, maybe we can at this point. I don't know. I always say that the military is 50 to 100 years advanced, right? But there was this thing that they had been practicing with time travel that it's not like we could actually go back or forward in time, but we were able to leave imprints, I think, or messages or holograms of some sorts. Am I right? Something to that effect. It's
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
Baron went back into time and and told you know the guy to write the book, and it wasn't anything like that.
yeah.
But I
I
mean,
don't have all the answers to
no,
that. I
no.
just know that there are so many coincidences. And so at what point, when you have that many coincidences, it makes you go,
Right. Well, that's
um,
the whole thing about Q.
yeah.
How many coincidences until it's mathematically impossible? I haven't
Mhm.
talked with Dana except for a few messages here and there and some videos back and forth sharing. Like we haven't been on Zoom for, I don't know, it's got to be 2 years.
I was
In a
going to say
while.
something like that.
And yet we still share enough of the same information. This is an
Mhm.
improbability, if not an impossibility.
Yeah. And you look at the Q references, they're insightful to the future. And people will go back and say, whatever the Q number is, Q233, and that's based on when maybe Trump put out a statement, and they'll go back and take a look at that time. And Trump is playing a 5-level chess game.
Yes, he is.
Five
Ugh,
level. And people do not understand that. You even had,
facts.
it, it wasn't Rogan, it was
It's not a flat board. He's playing in 5 dimensions,
Yes.
not 5 levels. It's 5 dimensional chess.
Is there a mention of Trump and Barron in the Bible?
Well, there's the trumpet sound.
Isn't Barron
I don't
Trump?
know about Baron.
I don't know about that. Yeah. Um, I I know that who was the
Good evening,
he he
Dwayne.
he died early. Um, oh goodness, what was his name? Um, Not a prognosticator, but he would tell about incidents in the future, and one of them was that Trump was going to come to power, and Trump was
Kim
going to be a
Clemente.
mighty Kim Clemente, yeah.
What did I say, guys? We know our shit. It's this. How is this 2 years? Maybe about it's just I'm trying to
I never heard
explain
of
the
him.
improv. And then if you got Helen on here and Brother Reb and Charles, which I'm sure is watching because he loves the flat earth theory too, and Patch, all of us have the basic same info. The
Yeah.
basic. Everybody has a little bit of and luckily, and what they told us to do, and I'm not even kidding, they said artists, and that's the word they used. Go out and tell people in your way that you can what the hell is going on. That's why I'm here. I'm an artist. I'm able to get online. I have friends like Dana and Patch and Helen, and I'm trying to make it as interesting as possible, to get you guys to wake up and spread the news because that's what they're relying on people. Where we go one, we go all. We can't, Trump can't do it. If Trump came out and said half this shit, nobody believe it. They don't believe him
Have
to begin
you
with. Of
have you seen the newest one? Okay. Are can we jump to another subject? I don't want
course.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a new one that's out now, and actually it has a lot of credibility. The Grand Canyon has aspects, has
Mhm.
Egyptian artifacts, deep
Yes. Yes.
Egyptian artifacts. And
Correct.
now what they're saying, and even biblically, that I know this can be a tough one for Joe, um,
We've discussed it
is that the Mississippi River is really what they referred to in the
as the
Bible
Nile River.
verses. And there's 7 different rivers that flow into it. You go over to Egypt and there's only 3.
Do you
It
think
just,
so you think America is
yes, I know what you're going to say. Yes.
all right, you're gonna
I'm,
have to
I'm, okay.
explain it to them because
So go, no problem. That's okay.
Patch got this out to me and this I never heard of. I always
Hmm.
thought, all right, you go first. You go first. You
Sure.
explain.
You know what? I honestly, I'm not, I didn't bring my reference materials. I wish I had them. But anyways, if you go to Utah, you can find many, many, many references to biblical locations. You can go. You know, they have mountains. They have supposedly, I haven't counted them, but there are, you know, many references. There's Sphinx here. There's um, a variety of, there's a plethora of Egyptian artifacts, just an enormous amount of Egyptian artifacts. Uh, you have, for example, the pyramids. They weren't tombs. They were used for providing power. And they go into the chambers of these, and they're not finding artifacts like the Egyptian tombs and stuff like that. They're finding uh, something that produces energy.
Right.
And this has been, we had these over here for the longest time. I think even still beyond that, you have the whole Tartaria. And that's the reason that they destroyed all of the cities. If you went to all the major cities that we had back, they were beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cities. It was not what our history books told us about, the Lewis and Clark expedition and all that. I have a distant cousin that was in the Lewis and Clark expedition. Okay, well, maybe a portion of it they did, but there were other many, many, many areas, many cities that were the the level of engineering and technology is probably even farther than what we are right now.
Yes. I actually
With
mentioned the other day that I remember seeing a picture from like the 1830s where the whole street was lit
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And
You have these star cities
the
or
Star
well,
City.
they
star
do say that
locations.
all of our continents were at one time together,
Yeah,
all
and
together.
Yeah, but that's like, you
So
know,
in the Grand Canyon, they have
money.
they have these big rocks they're perfectly cut, that if you look at them, they look like they would be parts of the pyramids that were built in the sand in Egypt. And they're just like they're cut and they're just kind of like moved, like they were just getting ready to pull them off of the side of the mountain, and
yeah,
then they didn't need it anymore, and it just stayed there.
yeah.
Was
Our
one of the ones
history
that
is a
was left
complete
over.
lie.
There
Our
are
I believe
history
that.
caverns.
is a complete lie.
I believe that. So it's not hard for me to believe, but I do believe that our history has we have been lied to the whole
Oh, we
time.
have definitely our history
Totally.
is total.
So it's not hard for me to
We
believe
had
any of what
more
you're saying.
control of our lives, of energy. Things were freer, but they destroyed it. The
Hmm.
Tartarian, like you were saying. And
Hmm.
going back to the Grand Canyon, I've
Hmm.
heard too. There have been tunnels. And honestly, I heard this on the ID channel because there was a guy murdered after finding said
Yeah,
Yeah,
tunnels.
you're not allowed down in there. Yeah, you're not
I've
allowed
seen
down
that too.
into
Yeah,
some
why
places
is
in the
that?
Grand Canyon.
Why Antarctica, Egypt, the Grand Canyon? Why are we not allowed in these places?
Well, for one thing, this country belongs to the people, so we should be allowed
In this
everywhere.
country specifically, yes.
Especially if it says that it's government land, you absolutely belong on that piece of property because it's yours. I'm just saying.
But you go on it, they'll shoot you.
Good
Yeah,
evening,
there you go.
Charles. I knew you'd like it. Charles, you're
Exactly.
more than welcome to come in if you still have the number, or I could give it to you.
Yeah.
Anybody,
He's
Helen, if you want to come in. But honestly, I want to hear Dana talk mostly. But Charles is a
yeah,
flat earth believer.
yeah, he is. Yeah.
And these two men, I consider, like, I mean, intelligent, just everyday people that are learning what the truth is. Now is he going to talk me into believing in the flat earth again? I don't know, because I was really on the cusp at one
So,
time.
so what you can do, you can go out and prove it to yourself. You live in Florida
Yes.
and you can
Oh,
go to
you're
the
too small to
beach
see the
and you
horizon,
take
Ben.
it and you take a telescope and you watch the boat go over the horizon
And
and
it
then you
does.
pull out a telescope and you can sit there and see it. it's as clear as day, as clear as day. You can see the bottom of the boat as long as it's not, as long as the waves aren't high, but you can still see the boat clearly. You can go to a mountain. I know here in California. I live close to, I live close to the Sierras. So the Sierras are 60 miles away. And if you follow the math is 8 inches per square mile, I think it is, drop. And so if
Right.
that's the case, that would be 8 times 60 or 480 feet. I should not be able to see a good portion of those mountains, and yet I can. And
I've seen that
you
picture
can
before.
you can prove it to yourself over and over and over again.
But then they've
People
had
just
other
need to open
proofs.
their eyes.
They've had people
Here,
go in buildings, and if the sun was if the earth was flat, well, I guess we would have seen it the same way then. If the sun is coming down and you run up a building, you should be
well,
able to still see the top of the sun.
Get over here.
But that would
so
only
it's
be if the earth was
distance,
round.
it's perspective.
I know.
So,
What it
I
is.
so,
It's
know about
perspective.
and then you have me.
get that.
And from the top of my mountain, I can see Mount Kinley, which is the mountain that borders the city of Grants.
It's Mount McKinley once again, isn't
Mount
it?
Kinley. No, it's Mount Kinley.
How far,
Oh,
not Mount
how
Kinley.
far is that away, Joe?
Kidding.
It is approximately 70 miles away. Okay.
Really?
From the top of the mountain, you can see Kinley. You can even see Mount Kinley from where I work. But you cannot see the base. And you cannot see the base of this mountain from the top of the crest either. So I just want, you can't really see the curvature. You can't see the base. So I was just,
Yeah.
making that point. So I don't know. I think maybe we're too small to even be able to see a curvature.
That would be my answer too. We are way too small. Our eyes and our brain do not. You see, there's the
It
other
doesn't
thing that we live in a
focus well.
matrix, my love. So
Mhm.
if we live in a matrix, then whatever they put into our brains is what we're going to see.
Right.
So, see, the whole thing with the flat earth with me is many people say, well, they created the round earth, from what I gather from the flat earthers, right? They created this round earth to take us away from God. But in 400 years, it hasn't.
Mm-mm.
There are everybody, I mean, I feel very left out when I say I'm like not very religious. I'm not religious pretty much at all. I've been trying. I definitely have an understanding. I have a spirituality of it. But so something like this doesn't really even affect my life. In fact, the flat earth, and this is my biggest point, affects nobody's life at this point because what's happening on the earth is much more important than the
Right.
earth itself. This is
So,
my and also, since you do believe in Q, and I asked you about 2 or 3 months ago, maybe longer, has Q ever mentioned the earth being flat? The other question I have is why, now that we know Trump is secure in office, why would NASA be bad? Why would SpaceX be bad? Why would Space Force be bad and still be lying to us? Because we have machinery up there showing us Mars, showing us the sun, showing us the moon. Why would Trump still be lying? He's in office.
yeah, I know. And that's a good question.
He
I,
wants
I
tonight.
don't completely understand that.
Right.
Um,
And I
and
could
he
go along with what he's
supports
saying. There's a
he
plan.
supports Musk. Yeah,
Mhm.
he supports Elon. But look at what happened just recently. His rocket failed.
Blew up, yeah.
There's other videos that
Right.
show rockets going into space and hitting something. There are pilots that have said the Earth is flat. They have gone up
Bill
close
Black, where are
to,
you, Bill Black? Yeah. Sorry.
They have gone up close to, and they've actually captured pictures of something like a rocket hitting the firmament. I believe it's the firmament. I do. I think it exists. I
So
think that
why?
our planet,
Why? Why do
why
we
do I
have a
believe it?
firmament?
Well, think about this. Um, it-
Yeah, mine.
so when you were a kid,
Yep, Justin, I'll drink coffee.
when
Joe.
you were a kid, I know my mother did this, is that she would we had those big glass terrariums, where you put plants inside there, and it was its own world inside there. It had its own atmosphere inside that terrarium.
A
You know,
petri dish. Isn't that what I've been calling it, guys? We are a petri dish. This is what I believe when you guys talk about flat Earth. But go on. Go on.
so it has, I mean, how can you keep the atmosphere that we have unless we have a firmament over top? Now, I've also heard, and there's proof, there's absolute proof that there were giants that walked this earth. You
I
can
believe
see
that
it.
100%. 100%.
You can
I
prove that every
totally
day.
believe that.
Even in the Bible, right?
I
Yeah.
The
totally believe
Nephilium,
I
giants.
mean, that
Nephilium were in the
one,
Bible.
the
The
one that's in,
terrariums.
what is it, Utah, or
Hmm.
I can't remember. There's an axe sitting on top of a tree stump. And how does that happen? So the 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 fact that we did have giants that lived here before that. So why am I going down that road? Because I think the oxygen was richer back then and it allowed for that growth. I'm guessing. And when we had the flood, and I believe with my heart, and they've proven it, that there was a flood.
Of
Not
some kind.
only is it not only in the Christian, and in our
Around the
Bible it
world.
says that,
Noah's
but
flood was around the world.
you look at the Buddhist, you look at the
Hmm.
Islam, well,
Hello.
which is it's
Been
based
saying
on
that.
the Torah, but
Very good.
all of the different religions claim that there was a flood, and so I think the atmosphere was changed. And so, why am I saying that? I think what it does is, like a terrarium, it keeps our atmosphere in place. It's for us. There are others that can come to the earth that may not, they may need a higher oxygen content than what we do. We have
Mhm.
been accustomed to this oxygen content, and that's why I think we have a firmament, so that, we have our own terrarium.
Let me ask you this quick question to add to that. On some of these mountains, like for instance, Devil's Tower, and there's some other ones that we've been seeing
The
circulating. They
tree.
look like they were big giant trees, right?
The
Yeah,
tree. It was
The
a
tree
tree.
or
absolutely.
what?
Yeah,
But there's not only one of those big trees. There was quite
they're
a
all
few
over.
of them, obviously, all around the
Mhm.
world.
Well,
How does that fit in?
if the trees were there, there wouldn't be as much flooding.
There's
Mhm.
truth in that. Who cut them down?
Right.
Because they look like
The
they were
giants.
Giants.
even?
The
Yeah,
giants.
Right.
They were
yeah.
probably
And so
forced to cut them
how
down.
tall were these giants? What was the tallest giant? I believe they were at
17.
least 30 feet or more.
I don't think they were
Might
that
have
high.
been
I
more.
do.
Might
They
have been
had to be
more.
to cut those big trees down. Look at how big Devil's
Well,
Tower
I'm
is.
looking at the
Look how
building.
big that axe is. That
Right.
one axe.
Well, who,
They left
wait,
it there. They left the axe there.
first of all, who said that they used our kind of tools? Okay,
Mhm.
these are giants from a different realm almost because
So
we've
does
never seen them.
Mhm.
They might have like a little power where they go zzz, 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 and the tree is cut. So don't even, please, let's not go there. Don't know.
does this mean Paul
But
Bunyan is a true story?
That's that's where these folk tales come true. Yes, yes. But did he have an axe? Who
That
knows?
big
I mean,
and
but
big
the
blue.
reason why I think people were not as big as that is because of the buildings. We didn't, I'm telling you right now, we did not create half the buildings in New York City. We did not create the Suez Canal.
Well,
No,
I'm trying to get
no.
something.
We did not have the tools or technology or the manpower to
I
do
think
it in,
I think we might have had the manpower. because there's a lot of people that weren't doing working at all.
No, Joe, it's not like it is now where people can fucking drive to work. You have to live there. You have to have your family live there. You have to be there for decades. That's a, and they made it sound like they did it in 6 or 8 years. I have to look it back up,
Yeah.
but no fucking way, people.
The other thing
Pardon my
is
French.
that I'm gonna bring something else up, is that
Joe, look at the chat, please.
look at these are giant mushrooms.
Yes, it is.
Giant
Yes.
mushrooms,
Yes.
okay, that existed. Our
Yes.
planet, I think
They
the
still do.
oxygen content was much higher
Yes.
than what it is now. And this is, I'm not the one that came up with this. I've been following podcasts that say the same thing. Not only that, but you can go in and find, um, here's one there, you know,
Yeah.
this, these are all over. There's dogs, there's lions, there's elephants.
Yes.
They're all over.
Um,
And
they believe dinosaurs too. Not dinosaurs, dragons, right? Dragons are rock
oh
are
yeah,
are
yeah,
rock
Mhm.
too.
yeah.
So maybe they fermented something. How did they ferment if they turn things into rock, then it would take very little to explode a tree. You know, a living tree is harder. But when it turns into some kind of fermentation, maybe it's easier to knock it down,
Was the Medusa
like
really?
glass, you know?
Okay,
Um,
here it is. Here's one.
Did
There's
we
what I was
really have
talking
a
about.
Medusa in this instance?
That's what I was talking about, is that there is an
How's that?
axe on the top of a mountain. An axe. It comes out from the side. It is an axe.
I have to, can you
Hmm.
send that to me, Dana? I really want like to see that. I want to get back to the flat earth for a second, since that is the topic of discussion.
Interviewer. See?
Does this firmament, I will be argumentative because I'm argumentative in both ways. I will argue for and against the flat earth. That's how I am with almost everything until I figure out that I'm satisfied with my conclusion. Is there a hole in the firmament?
Oh, well, okay. At the top, I don't believe there is. And I think the reason why, and they talk about, and I'm not sure about this. This is where there's different perspectives on it. And of course, not knowing, um, I don't have an absolute answer for you, but I don't believe so. People say, oh, there's an ocean above it, the water above and the water
I've
below.
heard that too. The
But
base is water.
yeah,
Mm,
and so, and then there's different layers, and
right.
that's why the firmament has, and I've heard as many as 7 different layers, and that's where the stars exist, are in the different layers that are
Uh,
out there. And that's why we can't
and
go
what
to
are
the stars.
stars in those layers of the firmament? Just
Lights that have been placed there by, I'll be honest, I actually think that we were, and we talk about God. Is God just one, or is there
Many.
more than one? And I don't know the answer to this. I don't know. But is there a group of people that are like this, that help create us? Um, they talk about the Anunnaki and all that. So I'm still investigating that myself. I
you're
I
Christian
don't
though,
know.
right?
I
'Cause
am.
to me, it's very hard. Like I'm in the middle. It's very hard to believe in a lot of the sciences and the Anunnaki and different planets, and then have this be a flat Earth. And I feel like we're in a petri dish, and this isn't godly. This is more of captivity. Um, and then I mean, I don't have problems with believing in the ice wall. I really don't. I don't have
Yeah.
problems with there being other species on this earth that we don't know about. I don't have problems
Mhm.
with this.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, let me go back. I wanted to say what Alan said because Alan says Journey to the Center of the Earth depicted the lost continent of giants. That's Jules Verne.
Mhm.
Mm.
These books were absolutely trying to tell us.
Something.
I don't know, there are family members that come out that say, yes, my uncle, my aunt, my father were in the Masonic Lodge. They were part of the Illuminati. I can't stand it. It's disgusting, but they know it. They
Well,
still
they
know it.
didn't. This was you're talking the very top of
Pyramid.
the Masonic Lodge. Those are the ones that knew it. The upper levels, they knew it. Yeah, they were bringing people up, but it's the upper levels of the Masonic Lodge that created this. Both of my grandfathers were Masons.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that they knew. There's, oh God, I hate these words. Exocentric,
Yeah.
right? And entocentric. There's there's like people like Tom Hanks that was probably pretty high up. Not because of him, but his family, or he was created. Tom Hanks does not look,
Right.
he doesn't look right to me. He never did. He doesn't look like he came from any particular ethnicity. You look at me, some people say, oh, you look Greek, you look Eastern European, could say Dana looks Irish. I mean, I don't know about Joe. He doesn't look Hispanic at all, but if you look at Tom Hanks, he looks like the dullest like individual. Like he's a conglomerate of a whole bunch of different things. Like I don't know, nationalities or such. I don't know. All right.
Can I go back to something real
Of
quick? I want to point
course.
Mhm.
this out. Yeah. So I don't know what you can see here, but
Yes.
you
Yeah.
see so this is something that I'm investigating right now that I'm looking at. And you have we have the Antarctic Circle, whatever you want to call it, the ice wall that's around us, around the Earth as we know it. And I question whether even if we know all the lands that are inside of the Earth that has been defined.
Right.
But outside of that ice wall, there are other lands out there. And people have come back and said, yes, I've been there. I've been to these lands, and they've reported that. It's Others have said they're crazy for doing this. I suspect there's some validity to it, and I think it just needs to be. I can't wait to go visit those lands. I'm looking forward to it. That's how much I believe in it. There's supposedly three gates that we can exit the Earth as we know it, and these gates allow us to go through the ice wall and through the firmament. They've been mining
So we're not
portions of the
trapped on
firmament.
the earth. We're not trapped.
No, no, there are exits out,
Right.
and our waters, our oceans, are part of their oceans. The external. When we talk about Mars or we talk about Saturn, okay, there's other lands outside of this, that outside of the Earth as we know it in our firmament. This is our atmosphere that we're under the firmament, and
Uh-huh.
these gates allow us to go into these other areas. What is beyond that, what the air content is, I don't know. But what I'm seeing and that's what I'm
Does
investigating
the
right now.
firmament cover even their continents?
No, no,
So it just
there
covers
are
our
other
seven, what we know of.
R's, right? So from what I understand, yeah. And then you go outside you go to an ice gate, and there are other lands that are out there that have their own firmament. They have their own dome that exists. And but there's open space
And
outside of
they
that. And
must
whether
not
there's a
know
huge
about us.
firmament over top of, well, I don't know that to be the case. I suspect we've claimed them to be aliens, and they come and visit us.
Now, do you
They can
believe in
hide.
aliens in outer space too? If we can go through tunnel a little, you know, something to get us into different planes,
Oh, yeah.
do
And
we believe that there's other worlds out there with other aliens on it?
yeah, I think you can go through portals.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Well, that I
I think
accept
the
more.
portals, yeah, I think the portals
I
are
believe in
were able,
portals.
yeah, and I do too.
Yeah, I
Um,
believe in the energy of things on this earth that exist already too.
yeah,
You know,
the details of the portal,
land
I'm
of
not
the
sure.
lost, right? Dana, land of the lost. Didn't they
Yeah,
use crystals and the rocks
yeah,
around them, right? Am I
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Where did they get this idea from? Okay, so
Truth is weirder than fiction.
okay, so do you believe in the Vril?
And what?
The Vril, the iguana people, iguana
Hmm.
dragons or whatever they call them.
Oh, you're talking, not the, I haven't heard it as the Vril. I've heard it as, the
Hold on a
lizard.
second, guys. Ellen is confused as to where you're talking about. So there's an they believe there's an ice wall around all of our continents at the poles.
Around this
This is
earth as we know it.
the
Right.
seven continents are inside my hand,
Here.
and this is the ice wall, right?
Right.
So the middle,
So right
Look at the
here,
picture, Ellen.
this is the ice wall, and these are the continents, the United States. In the center is the North Pole.
Right.
And and from what I understand, and again, I'm researching this, I believe we may be the center of it all, the entire thing. We're the center of it. And the North Pole, there's a lot of discussion right now that the the water that comes from the ocean, actually there's a hole there and it goes into the ocean, it goes into the center of the earth
I've
and it's
heard this too.
recirculated back out.
Yes, I've heard that too.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
you also have Black Rock. Black Rock is the island that is in the North Pole. They won't allow us to go there. Yeah, Black Rock.
They won't
But
allow us in the Antarctic. Why?
right.
Why,
Well, they don't want us to know
people?
the truth. Yeah, they don't
I
want
have
us
a
to.
very difficult time believing in a flat Earth,
So
basically because I don't like feeling like I'm in a petri dish, and I have a very it's 50-50 with me. I could see it because I know
Mhm.
we've been lied to. I know our
Mhm.
sciences are wrong. So but it's also hard to get all that indoctrination, especially someone like me and Joe who love the sciences, who love space and fantasy kind of stuff,
yeah,
to kind of just forget about the round Earth. Charles said it once. He said it correctly. He goes, "You destroy an empire of money, of corporations like Star Wars and Star Trek, because all of them show that the Earth is round, that planets are round. So by coming out and telling people, they would lose billions and billions of dollars because, oh my God, now we're on a flat Earth. Can you imagine having to do all these shows over? That's like
So
doing
let's
the
go
maps
back.
of all the all the maps over of Gulf of America.
Yeah. Let's go back to a question that you asked before, and I didn't get a chance to answer. You had mentioned, why would they do this to us? Why do they lie to us? And so the answer is, I believe, we as I hate to use the word human beings because there's another connotation around that, but we as mankind, we have abilities, great abilities that we do not know about. They add fluoride to our water. They add,
They put metal in
the
your tea.
toxins. They poison
They
our
put
air. They
barium
poison
and
our
aluminum in
water.
your foods.
And so the intent is to dumb us down, and so that we don't become the full creative creatures that we are. We have the ability, I believe, and I've heard this, and I think I've witnessed it too, is that we have the ability to communicate without talking. And
Joe,
we
did I
can,
not say this like 2 or 3 days ago? I did.
Yes.
I said,
yeah,
eventually our brains are going to open up from the 3 or 7 or 10% that they are
yeah,
allowed. You know, if we get rid of the water, we're all water. So
yeah.
if they're putting fluoride in our water, they're destroying everything inside us.
Well,
Everything.
something else, something else. And I have to credit this. I'm dating this woman, and she's opened my eyes considerably. But one of the things that she does is she talks about you should have 6,000 milligrams of salt a day. And people say, what? Because you're
Absolutely.
they're trying to remove that from our system. Well, why are they removing it? Because your body
Yes.
needs salt. And they said, oh, it's hardening of the arteries and all this other stuff. No, that's not the case. Your body needs it because if you know science and you add a little bit of salt to water, it it electrifies your body. It actually
It
strengthens your
also keeps
body,
water within.
and that too. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
But
so I add salt. I
yeah,
I do a soda drink, and I have potassium chloride, sodium chloride, manganese, and then I have a flavoring in there, and I put it in one of those soda streams, and I drink this. I try to drink it often. I don't drink it as much as I should, but
I have no problem with salt. I can eat
yeah,
salt all day long.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
might be why some people are more awake. I have been eating, so
Mhm.
I can't, I've been eating sunflower seeds since I'm like 7, 8 years old. I love them. But let's get this out.
Me too. I
You
love
see, there
all
might
the
be
time.
something to that.
Yeah.
I also love soaking. I could be in the water for hours. There you go. There you go. And I'd get the
Yeah.
jumbo too, no joke.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'd get the jumbo too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but let's get this straight. That shit's really bad. That salt's not good for us. That salt has been bleached. What you
Sea
want is
salt.
black, brown, or blue, or pink salt. The pink Himalayan salt is probably the
Yeah.
easiest to get,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's exactly what I use.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
use it on everything. I use it in the cooking. I
Yeah.
basically I'm going to throw away my white salt. Never use it again unless,
Something else that I'm transitioning to. We're talking about while we're talking about what we eat and stuff like that. I'm moving towards a carnivore diet. And people say, why do a carnivore? That is just how do you get your vitamins and your grains and all that other stuff? Well, the cow eats it. They get all the vitamins as long as it's grass fed and it's not, they it doesn't sit in a stall and never go outside and never eats
who
grass and
told you that to do
all
that?
natural.
Who told you to
But
do that? Because I was told to do the opposite.
but
I am a vegetarian for over a year now.
yeah. Well, the great thing about the carnivore diet is that your body does it naturally reacts to meat, especially beef.
I never liked, I think if
I'll start
God put
sending
us
you
here,
stuff.
then God put animals here too, and we're not supposed to eat them. You're not
Yeah.
supposed, you're supposed to eat what's alive. You're supposed to eat what's alive. So if you pick an apple off a tree, that apple is still alive. When you get a
Those
steak at the supermarket,
mhm.
it's decayed. It's dead. You're eating dead meat.
Well,
That's how
actually,
I
the
was taught.
longer that it sits,
And that
the
really got me into vegetarian and a few other things, but
the longer that the meat sits, the better the flavor.
I, well, yeah. Um,
But yeah,
I've been told that those that are not from this planet do not understand why we eat our animals.
mm,
They
okay.
they see us caring for dogs and cows and horses and we love them. And at the same turn, the chicken that we just fed yesterday and loved, we're cooking and eating today.
Whacking it.
So to me, if that's like a higher being to understand something like that. I'm not denying what you're doing is wrong or right either,
Mhm.
Dana. Who the fuck knows? It. I always believe in blood. Plasma is everything, blood is everything. So if Dana's blood likes meat, then he should be eating meat. If my blood likes avocados, I should be eating avocados.
Which I like avocados too, but that's another. Yeah.
I'm just saying, well, there's
I
the
get it.
blood
I get it.
type. Your
Yeah.
blood type tells you what you should and shouldn't be eating.
Mhm.
That's a
Also,
fact now.
I
There
never
are
heard of
things that are
also.
good for your blood type, and there are things bad for your blood type. There are things
Okay.
that will make you get diabetes because you have B plus blood type, B positive blood type, and you're not supposed to be eating onion. Onions
So
are
you know what
so
I'm gonna
sweet.
I'm gonna
Carrots are
start
so
sending
sweet.
you because
Huh?
I've joined a different carnivore sites and they talk about why there is an advantage to eating meat. But we're sort of getting off the track here.
It
Um,
doesn't matter.
yeah. Okay.
I agree with that because I was a believer that women should eat meat for the protein. But
Yeah.
to be honest with you, since I'm like 8 or 9 years old, there was a Doctor Who episode, and I'll never forget it. If you guys don't know what Doctor Who is, old British sci-fi show, guy travels in time,
Mhm.
right? But they explain in detail, and this is from the 60s, this show. It's before Star Trek, okay? They explain in detail how mushrooms, and you just showed us a giant picture of a fun guy, didn't you? Um, how they can be the same as meat. That everything that you can find in any animal, including fish, can be in every type of mushroom, from lion hair mushroom to shiitake mushrooms to portobello, which if you ever made a portobello on a grill, it is
Delicious.
almost the same tenderness as a piece of steak. So I kind of believe that. I really believe that. I believe
Okay.
mushrooms, because if you think about it, they say cancer is mushrooms. So what do you kill acid with when you have acid reflux? What do you kill it with? You could kill it with
Alkaline.
vinegar. Well, you
No,
could use
no.
alkaline. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You can kill
Yes.
the same thing with vinegar. Yes, you
Acid
can
reflux. Yeah, drink pickle juice for that. So.
pickle juice. Exactly.
Mhm.
Vinegar is what cures it. So if you have cancer, maybe if cancer are mushrooms, type of fungus, maybe mushrooms can cure them.
What I've heard is, and actually, to your point, there was a doctor that his mother was diagnosed with some form of cancer, and so he used mushrooms to cure her. So I've heard that too, you
Holy
know, and
shit. No, you don't understand. I just came up with that on my own. Really?
no, it's truthful. It's truthful. Yeah, yeah, no, it's truthful. And I can't remember the doctor's name, but I remember um, I know someone that has an issue,
I
and
smart.
so yeah, but they use different forms of mushrooms. God created, this earth,
I think
and
mushrooms are
and they provided all these natural ways for us to heal ourselves.
correct.
And
Yeah.
all that
We're
was
not
lost
using it.
when the Rockefellers came in and turned it, Rockefellers, Rothschilds came over here and turned everything around and said, okay, any of those natural paths that are out there, we're going to remove your medical degree. We're going to discount everything that you do, and we're going to sue you and send you to court and basically discredit everything that you say or do, even though it worked, because they wanted
Agreed. Do you
petroleum
really think that
products.
they were the ones that had all the power in the beginning?
I
There's
think
something wrong with
it's
this. I don't think so. I think it has to be an outside influence. There's no way, because otherwise they would be living their full potential of 150 or 200 years like we're all supposed to be living. Why are they getting hurt just like we are? Are they brushing their teeth with fluoride just like we are? Why did Betty White die at 100, say, Michael Douglas's dad, what was his name, died at 103. They should be living much longer.
hurt.
but they have the same pollutions in California as they do anywhere else. So there's something else,
More.
I believe. Something else just a bit higher than even the pyramid. So if that's not the
So,
vril, then I don't know what it is. God gave man dominion over animals to use to their benefit.
Yep.
That is, if, I mean, I don't know. Is that true? Is the Bible true? Does the Bible say everything right? I mean, why why wouldn't God say, "Hey, why are you killing one of my animals?" Wouldn't
but if we
Jesus
are
say
the,
not to kill it?
if
Like,
we're at the top,
this is
no, I
confusing.
mean, if we're at the top of the
Well, if
animal
we might be
kingdom,
the full chain to the vril, to the iguana people.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Your
Interesting.
eyes aren't slanted. They aren't vertical like a cat. So I don't think so.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? Are,
Well, the leopard or yeah, leopard, listen to me. The lizard people, they have, and I've seen videos and pictures and people um, that they believe are the lizard people. Their eyes, their they have vertical. If you take a look at a cat has a vertical opening to their eye. Do you know what I'm talking about?
yes, yes.
So they say that
The third eyelid kind of.
yeah, so they have vertical slits in their eyes. And I've seen videos, lots of videos on
Yeah,
this.
but why were you saying no to me though? I wasn't denying that.
Uh,
I don't know why you were saying no to me because
why did I say no?
I
I
was
don't know. I
saying
said,
that we're probably at the top of the food chain for them because there's no way,
oh,
okay,
top of the food chain for them. Okay, gotcha. I
for them.
misunderstood what you said.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha.
because
Yeah,
okay. I was confused there for a bit. The way I
sorry.
see it, all right. I'll go back to the simplest. Before Trump, there was 800,000 children going missing a year. That's not including adults in America alone, but
Yeah,
prior to Trump. Okay, say there are millions of Satanists, 2 or 3 million. At the tops, 3 million, I'm guessing. There's no way they got rid of 800,000 children in America alone. Even if there were 5 million devil worshippers, I cannot see them taking care of 800,000 children in one country. Then you have
Per year.
400,000 in Europe, in
Per
Britain
year. Per year.
per year. That means to me, and a lot of them keep them as sex slaves and they keep them like slaves. That says to me that something else is devouring or getting rid of these children or people.
well,
There's
they
lots of times
also,
we don't find any burial ground, and there's been proof of bones being left behind sometimes of sheep and cow, and I'm sure children and people too, right?
well, and there's also a discussion that they've found human DNA in hamburger that we
Human
eat.
DNA in a burger. No
Yeah,
doubt. No doubt.
yeah,
PepsiCo put human DNA, put baby parts, put baby cells into certain products to get us addicted.
yeah.
Am I right, Dana?
I've heard that.
PepsiCo being the biggest. Please stop drinking soda.
Not to
The
mention the
people
sugar
that have
content.
nothing to do with it will get different jobs. It's not a big job to work in a Coca-Cola factory, okay? Get homemade juices. Get yourself a blender. I can't. I mean, what is Dana doing? He's got this whole mixture of shit.
Soda stream.
Water. I have my water, and I could drink this half a bottle of water in seconds. You wouldn't even realize. I mean, that's what you want to say. Like,
But this, it uses a dehydrated
and for those of you that
flavoring.
recycle, Now that is how you recycle people to save room, right, Mama Helen? My mother taught me that it works. Half a bottle of water like that, because that's what humans should be doing. Not coffee, not, well, I drink coffee, but not sodas, not Tropicana. Did you ever see the carbs in like a Gatorade, a Snapple, a Tropic? Carbs, the sugar, the opposite of salt of what you need. Well, I guess the opposite of salt would be
I read something the other day
acids, but
that sugar actually it goes to your bone marrow and it stays there for a period of time. So you eat sugar, it it stays in your body for longer than what they originally thought.
it stays in your body. What? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sugar.
Sugar, yeah.
Sugar is so bad. I mean,
Yes.
go back
They bleach
even,
it. They bleach
yeah,
sugar too.
yeah. And it's just so bad for you.
Mhm.
So bad for you.
I know. Definitely know it. I hope you guys know it.
Yeah.
Helen said that human DNA is supposed to be a flavor enhancer.
Yeah.
Gross.
You
Yeah.
didn't tell me that, Helen. I saw videos of that
Gross.
way before we even started talking.
That's gross.
Unfortunately. And
It's
she's right.
wonders what we all know though, Helen. We all know something. Helen does share a shitload of crap with me, but I get a lot of stuff from everybody. It's very difficult to keep up with everybody. I really don't know how people do it sometimes. I want to show my last post because maybe or the post before, maybe we'll get a chuckle from Dana. Well, I'm sure you'll understand it. Um, because I'm gonna try to come up with these out of the I'm gonna try to come up with memes that wake people the hell up. And I'm so very happy when people answer in the chat, just like this guy did. That's how Tom should always dress.
Mm.
And of course, Tom Hanks was the star. Things that make you go, hmm. When exactly did cross-dressing become pop culture? That's my question. Because you know what? Besides for Golden Girls, Tootsie, which was who was Tootsie? Hoffman?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin
Dustin.
Hoffman. And Golden Girls from the 80s.
What about that?
Dorothy
What
had a
about the
brother
gold?
that cross-dressed but was married and had children.
Oh, oh, okay.
When did it
I didn't
happen?
watch it that much.
When did
When
this become a
when
thing?
was
And
it
why?
considered an acceptable behavior?
Well, you remember going through school, they would have some kind of opposite night wherever the guys would dress as girls and the girls would dress as guys.
Right, right. Masquerade parties where they would do
Mm.
that all the time.
Yep.
That's the shit that the Illuminati does. They
Oh my
What's
need
that
God.
to
say?
be, yeah, this is a good one. I love my Star Trek
The
guys.
people
What
in
is it?
electric
They
cars.
see or something current. Oh, geez, that's bad. Oh, that's bad. I'm gonna
I'm
look
gonna
at
say
that.
something current.
That's why Jonathan Frakes. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
just had to share that. Okay.
Or something current.
Well, it was as good as your
What are
poem.
you gonna say, Joe?
oh, I
Theories that I hear on campus are incredible, says Dwayne. No, it's before the beginning of Hollywood, I think. Hollywood was created for these people.
well,
Hollywood's
they've
created by the
always been
CIA.
weird. The actors, they've always been weird ever since a long time ago because they were the court jesters, remember?
Hollywood was created by the CIA
Yeah,
so that
there
they
you
could
go.
push their agenda.
There you go.
They were
Absolutely.
the meek.
Because you have six people at home in many, many homes watching one person on TV, like Johnny Carson, for example, right? So whatever this person on TV is telling all these families, they're all going to think it true or the
Pushing the
same and
narrative.
go to the water cooler the next day at work and talk about it.
and everybody's talking
Because
about the
Oprah
same
said that
thing.
this book is good. You gotta fucking read it,
Well, they heard it on TV, so it must be true.
right? Or the internet, right? Nowadays.
Yeah, yeah.
The theories that I heard on campus. What do you mean, Dwayne? The theories you heard on campus? According to SS, we have citizens who live 300 years of age. Yes. Yes. I absolutely believe that we are, like Dana says, and I've been telling you that our brains are not working full percentage, right? I mean, they've even gone as far as telling us this. Your brains don't work fully, and our bodies aren't working fully. And I can't tell you the coincidence, Dana. My life is one big bubble of coincidences. I mean, we'll play a damn game of Wheel of Fortune, and it will say something relevant to the day or to what we just talked about. I- they don't. How are you with it? Are you seeing things, hearing things, knowing things? Like, just is it popping up for you too?
Well, it's sort of funny right now is that this whole I'm following this, and I think I've sent you guys some information on this. This girl, her name is Kristen, and she's talking to Chat GPT, and she's talking about the Matrix and living in the Matrix, and they're going down some really deep rabbit holes, and it is extremely interesting, and it makes you wonder, you know, how much of this is really true?
Right.
How much of this are we actually in a matrix?
Yes.
And are we able to control it? That's
Yes.
the other thing.
We can absolutely bend our futures. I have as much done it.
Yeah.
I have had Dana, I have had the same dream for over 3 years now. Not the same dream. It's the same environment or what my brain can handle as being the environment. Like, for example, one of the buildings is a Trump building. It's named
Mm.
Trump because my brain can understand that that's a safe place. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how the
Yeah, I
brain
do.
works, at least the subconscious. I've been saying this for at least 2.5, 3 years. This, at first, I didn't think anything of it. It would come around every once in a while, this similar place. And then I thought, well, maybe I like it. I like it. And that,
Yeah.
no, I found out that the devil is in my dream. The devil is sleeping right now. I said that before. You guys can think I'm crazy. I really don't care. What am I supposed to do? Lie to you? I'm not going to tell you what I've been dreaming, what I'm thinking these things are. The dreams are all part of it, our connection. And I'll tell you something else. Computers enhance the connection. I am more closer to people when I'm on video or watching them or listening to them than I am like them being right next to me for some reason. There's something about the body is a machine, the brain is a machine. The matrix, I believe in more than the flat earth. And if the
Mhm.
matrix says that this is a flat earth, then it is a flat earth. Do you see that? Do you see where I'm coming from? If the matrix says that we believe in a round earth or it's a round earth, then I believe it. I absolutely believe in the matrix. Um, and dimensional shifting of some sorts. Joe likes the dimensional shifting.
Dude.
I think we did that with this was done during and I don't know what time frame, 2012 maybe. Prior to 2012, they saw the dimensions in parallel and they said, okay, we get on this road, it's going to,
And what happened in 2012? Why 2012?
well, that was when the calendar,
The
the
Mayan
was
calendar.
it Mayan calendar was supposed to, it saw the end of the earth. And I think
Brilliant.
they saw
I never
that.
thought of that.
Yeah.
That's
And
why
then
I think
they
I'm
changed the direction of the world.
right. We did. And what it was is probably a lot of us. a lot of us were so sick and tired. And
Awakening.
we have energy within ourselves, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think I mean, you had Q, you have these people in control that absolutely started the movement. I'm telling you, I really believe Trump knew since I think he knew that JFK Jr. faked his death.
Oh,
There
I
were
think he did too.
two planes.
Yeah.
There were two planes, and the plane that he died in Carolyn and the sister was up for auction about 6, 7 years ago. I have that too. I really have to go through my phone. Like most of the pictures that you show, I have the same things
Yeah, I
differently.
haven't heard that one. I haven't heard that one. I heard that they knew there was a bomb inside the plane, and or some device inside the plane which is
Correct.
going to cause it to fail. They
Correct.
knew that, and so they
But
had
how did they get the plane where they got the plane? And when it blew up, what happened to the bodies?
there were no
If
bodies in it.
They
And what I
weren't in
heard
there.
is that
how
the
did they get the
pilot
plane to where it
parachuted
was?
out.
How did they get the plane to where it was?
So what they had is a
Remote control,
nope.
drones.
What I had heard is that they had a pilot, military guy, fly it to a point, and then he parachuted out, and they just let the plane go in.
And that would make sense because they also said where the plane went down, the box was found miles away, like
Hmm.
20 miles away
Oh, really?
from
Well,
where like the plane was found.
currents too. I mean, if it became dislodged in current flows, and I don't know.
20
Good question.
miles?
Yeah, yeah, it wouldn't think so.
There was
And
something, and
there's
that was then, Dana. That was in, back then I remember hearing it.
Mhm.
Um, all right.
We could
Although we
check.
love JFK Jr. and we do believe he is alive, I'm hoping we're proving to some of you that maybe, or at least opening you don't have to believe or not believe, but I don't want you to be surprised when the guy comes out and say, hey, I'm here. I don't
So
want everybody to be
what about the magazine that he had? And I can't
George
remember what the
Magazine,
magazine
George.
had on it. Yeah, George.
which started
And
up again, which
but
started up again like
there
two or
was
3 years ago.
information on one of them that it was a prognosticated condition. And I can't remember exactly what it said, but it's like every time I see it, it's like, wow, it was in the future. It was
Yeah.
playing the future.
Yeah, the
And
one
I
where
think,
Hillary and Bill Gates and Mount Rushmore.
you know,
That's the one.
is that it?
They say that should Hillary Clinton be arrested, what Bill Gates has on says about viruses, something like that. Is that the one you're talking about? It's
I
on the
think
cover of
so.
George
Well,
Magazine.
well,
And then he writes inside, I was just telling this like a couple of weeks ago, and then
hmm,
Junior writes a paragraph inside, and he does that Rolling Stones song, part of the Stones song. The one where the children sing in the choir, I forgot the name of it. And then he writes, you never heard that? Okay. And then he writes, well, we don't know what's going to happen. Let's hope and see what will happen in 20 years.
hmm,
And 20 years from that was when I thought they took Hillary Clinton.
hmm.
But you're telling me Hillary, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We still both believe that she's gone. The particulars are not as important as the fact that we actually believe he's gone. Because us believing gives us, guess what? Energy.
Positive energy.
Correct. That's the thing. Sugar gives you negative crap. It might give you that high, but why do we call it a high?
Yeah.
Because it's a drug. It's a drug. You can't abuse anything.
Poison. It's a
Yeah, it is
poison.
poison. It is. I believe that too. Carbohydrates and
And I abused sugar and got diabetes from it.
there you
And now
go.
I don't eat sugar at all. And now
Yeah.
I'm not on pills either.
Good for you. Yeah.
Pills, guys.
Good
Ugh,
for you.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't. I wish I
The
could get
sugar's
myself off
bad.
the anxiety pills.
You gotta, it's the bleached foods is what's bad. Because that's what did it to me. The bleached food, sugar is bleached. So
Flour.
yes, that's oh God, is that stuff bad for you?
Flour, garlic,
Wow.
onion, they have been proven to be bleached.
Garlic and onion I can do. I can even do fruits, but breads and rices and pastas and sugar is bad.
I eat
Yeah,
fruit.
Potatoes,
what about if you got it from Italy? What about if
huh?
you purchased there? So what about if you purchase, so you can get the organic, natural
Right,
flour from Italy.
right.
You ever tried that or try to make
No,
breads or
I
pasta out of
really
that?
haven't. What
Yeah,
I've done is I've actually controlled my diabetes through whey.
there you go. Good. Good
Yeah.
for you.
So
Yeah,
I'm a
you
6.0.
rarely have a problem.
Yeah. I'm a 6.0 A1C.
Didn't we hear that she died of Kuru? No, she showed that she had Kuru. That one time,
Who's that?
Mm.
Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
Oh,
Kuru,
Yes.
yeah.
it's the
Yeah. Which
disease you
we
get, and it's been proven that Africans and Germans have gotten Kuru from eating other people.
Yeah.
It's a disease you get from cannibalism, and you can't control certain emotions and certain physical, um,
Yeah.
I guess,
And
movements.
she's one of the worst ones out there. She was one of the worst ones out there.
It was a hint to us because I think she was.
Yeah.
Carolyn, if you believe in the devil, you must believe in God.
Yes, that's true. She's
Yeah,
even said so much. Come on. You have.
I say that the evil, well, you see, I never, there's a difference in believing good and bad exists and then calling them God and the devil. I call them God and the devil so I don't confuse anybody. But I don't necessarily believe, and I do believe, like, well, you see, I really believe that we are all God
You're a part of
and
God.
that some are all devil, I guess. I guess that's my best belief at this point. Um, we are the accumulation of our beliefs. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we believe in God, then we are part of it. Then we have to be. 'Cause without our belief, there is no God. So we are an accumulation of our beliefs. So if many of us believe in God, then we create it.
Yeah.
And vice versa. It created us. So I have a lot of philosophies. Don't take me literally. I hate to say I don't believe in God. I'm agnostic, people. I don't know any better. I can't say yes or no because I haven't met God. I've had very interesting experiences I've told you guys about, some of you. But is God, I mean, I always say God is an alien because it's not from this earth. If it's not us, right? So this is the devil, I guess. But the devil could be a giant vril for all I know, an evil reptilian dragon thingy. It doesn't, I mean, that doesn't really apply. If you're trying to catch me on something, then so be it. I really don't care. I can't express in words how I feel about those sorts of things because there are no words to describe it, I guess. All right, but let's get back to the earth, the flat earth.
So I've sent you guys this before we go to the flat earth.
Sure.
I've sent you guys this girl, and her name's
I
Kristen.
remember that.
I don't remember
And
any.
yeah, and she is the one that talks about the Matrix
Hmm.
with Chat
Yeah.
GPT. Now, that said, Chat GPT, I have some issues around Chat GPT, and that is that it's pulling from the internet. It's pulling from media. It's pulling from actions that have occurred from our government documents. And anyone that has any insight, you guys know this already, is that you can't trust the media, you can't trust the government, you can't trust the internet, big tech, you can't trust big pharma. And so Chat
Beautiful.
GPT has a narrative. And so to your point there, Carolyn, is that she talks the about the Matrix, I'll say. Okay. And it's interesting to listen to her, but when I listen to it, it's with a grain of salt and to see how it fits into my narrative. She does talk about Christ-like, and she does talk about the Christ consciousness, which is really good.
Yeah, I believe in the
But
Christ consciousness, by the way, people. Joseph.
well, yeah. And so you should look at her series. You may be interested in this.
I've
If I,
heard so, but I don't know who she is, but I've heard this from so many people. She's not the only one. But what is GPT? What is it?
Chat GPT. So what it does is it is a computer program. It's an application. Okay, it's sort of like Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, except it's Chat GPT. And what you do is you go in and you ask it questions. And then it looks at all the media, it looks at government documents,
So
what's on the
it's
internet.
AI.
It's AI, exactly. And it collects all that information and answers you. So I don't have 100% trust of AI. I really don't. I think to some degree, okay, I'm a Christian. I think it's a little demonic to a certain degree. There's some information that's interesting,
This is the
but
problem.
you have to realize that where is it coming from? It's pulling from our media. Our media lies to us. Our government lies to us. So I've already talked about this. So
Gotcha.
I, as you listen to it, AI, I really don't like AI. I
I have
This
no
is where
problem
we're
with it.
all going. Yeah, this is where we're going.
I believe in
But
technology fully, and I believe that we have it under control. And I will be a test rat if they want to put a chip in my head. I would do it in a heartbeat. I'm sorry. See, this is the difference between people that believe in Christianity and God. See, he's saying, no way, no way. And I'm like, yes, please, I'll do it.
I'll take a bullet before that
Because
happens.
if there is God, then why
Yeah,
would he
why
want
would
me to
you?
die with technology? It doesn't.
You're warned against that.
In
You're
the
just
Bible, it
warned.
says not to put the chip in your hand. Well, what if I put it in my
Or the
ass?
head. Or the head.
Okay, so I'll put it in my buttocks. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're the same person telling me that in 2012 we went a totally different way,
Yeah.
but yet that can happen. We can control that kind of future, but we can't control ourselves with technology.
I would not put a chip in my body.
We
I
do it to
don't
dogs all the
want,
time.
I don't, it's okay, do it to dogs. I don't want a chip in, I don't want them to know or be able to control my thought. And that's what a chip can
Well,
do.
well, yeah, but
I don't want it either.
what if it was Trump? Trump said to you, now you
I'd
see, you
say
still
no.
say no. So even the person we probably trust the most in our lifetime at this moment as president of the United States,
I'd
we
tell him to
can't
go fuck
trust.
himself.
What?
I'd tell him to go fuck himself.
I'm not going to put a chip
It's
in my
not going to
body either.
happen.
I'm not going to
It's
do it either.
not.
Guys are so afraid of technology. It's so
Nope.
funny.
I'm
No,
not
it's
afraid of
not afraid of
technology.
technology at all. Nothing at
Uh-uh.
all. When you put a chip in your body, how do you know at that point they can't control you?
That's
Oh,
right.
oh, if we got rid of all,
You
if we
didn't.
got rid of all the bad, who's going to control us?
When do you
Who
think and
made the chip? Did evil people make this chip?
how
Mhm.
long do you think it'll be before they get rid of all the bad people?
I think they
How
already
long
did
do you
most of
think?
it. I think
Mm.
there's most of it
Still
is done.
exists. You still have a lot. Why did we have the fire in LA?
Because the good guys did that. I
I don't
don't
think so.
believe the bad guys did that. That would be stupid of the bad guys to do that. They're getting rid of all the proof. If that's what you're going to tell me, they couldn't. You can't burn tunnels. There's tunnels under those houses. And then because Gene Hackman wasn't in the Palisades, they had to get rid of him a different way. No way did the bad guys do that. They have no control anymore. They
You know
haven't
what?
had
Why
control
do
since
I,
2014.
if you go, this is ridiculous. When you go to LA, we counted in one day 8 chemtrails. And not only that,
No,
but you look at what's
no.
on top of your car.
Who owns the
When
who has control over the planes the last 2 months? Trump. So don't tell me there's chemtrails. The chemtrails that are going in the air now are mushrooming. Yes, they are, Dana. I'm sorry. They are mushrooming. They have gold in them. They are curing our atmosphere, not destroying it.
I don't see
That-
any gold, I see black flake. I see black
So you think
and
that Newsom is still in control? You think that is Newsom? You think that's Pelosi? Who has
No,
control?
no, no.
So
I
who?
think you're
Hillary is
right.
dead. Biden is gone.
I think the elite have been taken out. I think you still have lower levels that are still in control and
That can
still
get
have the
up
ability
in
to
planes.
control.
No, I ain't buying it. No, sorry. No.
I'm not
Good is happening
convinced.
now. It's all good.
Good. I'm not denying that. I am not denying that. What I am saying is I don't think all of the evil has been removed. I
I
think
gotta say,
there's
there's
still,
probably
Not yet.
this is me and my dreams, guys, but I would say there's less than 3% left. The devil is sleeping. It told me
Maybe.
itself. Like, you could call me crazy. Don't give a shit. It's gone. It's done. Things are going to change like they already have. If there is evil, how the fuck did he change it to the Gulf of America? And Zelensky, who believes that this guy is real? There's a real war. There's people. You have people in the Ukraine saying there's nothing happening, but then you have the media saying, oh, there's still war. Who to believe?
did you see the mime with Zelensky and Trump at a meeting?
You want me to play it?
Did you
That's
get
pretty
it?
funny, guys. Let me see. I, See, Dana's used to me yelling. Everybody's used to me yelling. I'm a yeller, guys. I don't mean to. It's just Brooklyn, New York people. We just, it's
I'm
not
from New
like I'm
York
trying to
too.
be mean.
I'm from Buffalo.
I know. That's right. Forgot about that. That's right. He's in California as of now. Where are you? You just gave it to me. Oh, there you are. Ah, gotcha.
Did I
Oh,
send
and
that
you
to you?
sent me the picture. Thank you. Yeah, that's crazy talk. Here it is. This was pretty funny. So I shall share this. I don't know, Joe, if you saw this yet, but you guys are going to get a chuckle. Can you see it?
Mhm.
Okay.
We thought that baggie belonged to Hunter. You know, I think the Secret Service probably still has it somewhere.
I have been stealing the money.
I'm sorry, what's that now?
I must to speak honestly. I steal many of USA dollars to Ukraine, millions. Some dollars for some oligarchs also, some for American bureaucrats also.
lips.
Well, we know that, but why are you telling me this?
Because, Mr. Trump, if you end war, we cannot steal any more money. We must continue war.
No, the war must end. Your people are dying, Zelensky. They're dying.
But I want to steal more money. What do you want? Fellatio, I can do it.
Oh,
No,
God.
I don't want fellatio. No.
Are you sure? I did for Biden.
Okay, that is what we call oversharing. Look, there's nothing you have that I want. You're not
Oh,
going
it hurts.
to keep this war going.
Oh,
you
that
don't-
hurts.
I not play cards.
No, I know you're not literally playing cards. It's a metaphor. It's like I'm playing 4D chess and you're playing checkers.
No, I not play checkers. There is no checkerboard, you see.
Okay, let's try this. I am in the driver's seat, okay? Do you understand that expression?
No, but we are not in car.
No, you're right. You're right. We're not in a car. That's true.
Listen, Mr. Trump, I am actor slash comedian. I crave attention. Since the start of war, I get worshipped by presidents. I'm worshipped by Hollywood. If war ends, no more attention, no more worship. With all due respect, Mr. Trump, this war must last forever.
I tell you what, if you agree to end this war, we will do a remake of Friends, and you can play Ukrainian Chandler Bing. How does that sound?
Oh, I love the Friends. This is favorite show of me. I am such a Monica.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's sign the thing, and then I'll go show you the room where Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky did it.
Oh yes, this is funny because I just say I'm such a Monica. Maybe we will go in room and you can be Bill Clinton and I will be Monica. Yes?
You know what? Forget the room. Let's just sign the document. Does anyone have a pen? Phil? Where's Phil? I need a pen. Somebody give me a damn pen.
Oh my God. People are so good at, hysterical.
That's hilarious.
Thank you for sharing that. See, guys, theliberallychallenged@gmail.com. Share videos, share conspiracies, share memes. I'll try to get up if you want to come on Zoom. You guys know you're more than welcome.
Mhm.
Mom back in the 60s warned me of placement of chip in your hand and marking of beast in the forehead, right?
Right.
Now, I'm not saying I didn't grow up Christian or Catholic, but I just,
It's the Antichrist.
you know what? I was indoctrinated just like the rest of you in believing everything from the planet being round to, I don't know, the Egyptian pyramids, right? So I'm supposed to believe in religion, though. I'm supposed to believe that the Bible is true, although everything else was indoctrinated. This is my biggest problem. How the hell do you know that religion is not a part of indoctrination? We
Well,
live in
I
a
think
damn
also-
matrix, people. Sorry? You see my point?
66 books of the Bible were removed,
Right.
and that was
Right.
done by
But we have
the
religion.
Vatican.
We have texts. We have
And
things that are
then-
way older than Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
So
And
what?
then you had King James that went through and changed aspects of the
Bible.
Bible so that it met his needs, and it didn't, those that were in charge would not be held accountable, we'll say.
Right. Because it was all in the Bible.
He changed aspects of it, but I think
Yeah, but I honestly believe that it wouldn't have been King James. You got people like as nasty as Hillary being around for 300 years, having all the money, owning the printing press, having the education, and you believe that they told us the truth in the Bible and printed it exactly as it was 2,000 years ago? And that the languages?
I wonder if Hillary Clinton was the one that was collecting that Social Security check for 300 years old.
Yeah, right.
She could.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
I could believe,
Wonderful.
well, Nancy Pelosi, maybe. Like that thing is old as old, decrepit people. I'm just trying to say that
I don't know.
even though there are a lot of facts coming out, facts or what seems factual, you still don't have to settle on one belief. Obviously, Dana and I believe totally, I think it's almost over. I've been telling people that we are in the best hands, and I totally believe that. And if there's black shit coming out of planes, it's not from us. Trump is not putting planes up with black smoke coming out of them. He would know. And there is such things as maybe there's coal. Coal cleans too.
I don't know.
But what I will say is the chemtrails look different. I don't know about the ones in California, but the ones that I've been seeing, especially when Joe had been leaving work, now it doesn't happen as much, Joe. But they were mushrooming. They weren't those long lines and then fizzing out at the bottom. They're mushrooming out. It's a
Well, I
different
can
deployment
I
of
can tell you
chemicals.
over LA, they all look the same. I see them here all the time. In LA, it was freaking crazy, crazy the amount of chemtrails.
LA needs the biggest cleaning up.
Yeah.
So if Trump is in control and he is trying to clean, it is, we proved it on the show because I've been saying how powerful gold is. Gold is a conductor. We're supposed to eat gold, ingest it, digest it, wear it. And it's
Drink it. Yeah.
it's a detoxin for the body and for the earth. And then Joe looked it up. I just believed in it. This is what I'm saying. How can I that just believe in something, not look it up? I do look up a lot of shit, but this in particular I didn't. And Joe did that day on and said, yes, you can actually eat gold. I didn't even know that, but I always thought it. Well, for a couple of years I had been. I don't know, but I'm going to say we're in much safer hands than we have been in, 400 years.
At least. At
Hmm?
least. I
At
think
least.
I think the Masons, the Cabal, Deep State, whatever you want to call it, Illuminati, I think it's been 1,000 years,
Yes.
maybe even more than that. Yeah,
Well,
and
they
we're
said
at the
it started with the
culmination.
Sumerian tribes, who the Sumerians were the first people that we know of in Middle East that were able to create, that were able to do math. They worked, the women worked, they knew sciences and written language. And they divided up and became evil. That is like the earliest that I could find. Oh, it might be set in the Fall of the Cabal. You've watched the Fall of the Cabal.
Yep.
I think that's where she says it. And isn't she dead? Didn't they
Yeah.
say that she died?
Yeah.
Janet
Muted.
O'Brascalelli or whatever her name was.
Janet
Oh,
Bosenbaugh or something like that.
yeah. Oh, I can't remember her last name. I always get stuck at
Janet.
it. If
Yeah.
you haven't, go to Rumble, Fall of the Cabal, parts
All the
1
Cabal.
through 8. Watch that first because she
Yeah.
goes up to like 50 or something at this point.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I stopped after like
I
27 or
heard she committed suicide though, but quote unquote suicide.
so. She had to hide.
Yeah.
People want her dead. And if you're going to tell me she's not part of Q, no woman could get all that fucking information and make a beautiful video. Give me a break, people. It takes a production manager and production people and artists and a whole cast to do
It
this
was
kind of research and
exceptional.
production. Sorry?
Exceptional. It was
Exceptional.
exceptional.
Yes.
Yeah. That was an eye opener.
Yes.
Huge, huge eye opener.
Please watch it. Cabal 1 through 8. And then
Follow
you'll
the
see
Cabal.
Follow the Cabal 1 through 8. And then you'll see the rest. You'll start understanding the rest. Huge. She starts from the very beginning. This is why I know, because, these people take their credit. Oh, I started studying. That's how she says it. No way. All right. I've been doing it for most of my life. And I couldn't figure out this shit. There's no way. She had information that was
Insights.
hitting from us for generations, centuries, whatever. And it was
Yeah.
part of Q. And Q are 47 different countries. It's not just the US. And who else do you believe? You believe the white hats. Tell them who the white hats
Yeah.
are.
What I understand is that they are retired generals. They're retired
Flynn,
Could be.
retired scientists,
McInerney.
people that had high or have knowledgeable positions within the world,
Russell
not
J.
just
Gould. Mhm.
yeah, they're very knowledgeable, and
And
they saw what was coming.
And do you believe in some of them are alien?
Um, I would not, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me at all. How would they have the insight and knowledge? I mean, go back to Commander Thor.
They don't know about command. Well, I would imagine that most people would not know who Commander Thor is. By the way, Dana, just to tell you before you start with this, I found out that Trudeau, the name Trudeau, translated to English, literally means the ruler of Thor.
Hmm.
Isn't that interesting? But why don't you explain who it is?
Yeah, well, we started to talk about it earlier back with Eisenhower, that he actually came to the Earth and spent time with Eisenhower. I think he spent a year with them. He was also in the Pentagon. He met with generals. There's a book that's written about it. You could probably, you know, you could research it. But
Ike writes about him, right?
I don't know about Ike, but I do know that there was an author that wrote about him and had pictures in there and had pictures of Ike and he. And really, Thor came here to warn the people of the impending doom that was about to occur and
Mm.
that changes that need to occur in throughout the world. That was right after, not much, but
So
right
do you
after they
personally
had.
believe you believe in Thor?
Oh,
Do you?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's also
Yep.
another, there's a podcast, We the People uh, podcast, and she receives information from Commander Thor. She
Yep.
receives letters and notes and whatever. And but it seems very real to me. She seems very um,
Genuine.
authentic and genuine.
But she's not the only
And
one. She's not the
yeah,
only one. This is my
yeah,
problem with people that watch and listen to a lot of podcasts. They aren't the only ones. There are millions of people out there like us, Dana, that have all different types of information. That's why I
yeah,
can't
yeah,
settle. I
yeah,
can't just
yeah,
listen to one. I'll listen to
yeah.
you and then I'll move on to somebody else because I can't. I can't
Yeah,
take one person's word for it.
yeah.
Um,
I know you don't follow Charlie Ward anymore. I
no,
still do to a certain extent. I still subscribe because he has other stuff that he includes.
right.
That and that's why I still follow him. I have an annual subscription with him, and he's on Monday or on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Is he going to come to
And
America and open up some kind of um
ouch.
he said that he was going to come. Are you all right?
Yeah, actually, I'll be in Florida the last week of April, and I'm going to a golf tournament he's hosting, and it's going to be at the Trump Doral. So
Where is it? We're in Florida.
Miami.
That's doable. Maybe I could get down there.
Yeah, he ouch. I have cramp right
Somebody
now.
needs a banana.
Probably, huh?
Tonic water.
Ah,
Yeah. Um, but yeah, he has they have tickets for sale. If you're interested, you go to Charlie Ward and I can forward you the information if you want.
See, Charlie Ward said that he was going to come and open up some kind of facility here in America to help people that are going to be waking up. And friends, it's already happened.
yeah.
Do you understand that this stuff is already happening?
That's like
What are the
Simon Parks.
chances? Sorry?
It's like Simon Parks. He's opening up can't remember, is it Indianapolis? They're opening up a connected consciousness
Yeah,
center. I want to say it's Indianapolis. I may be mistaken on that,
that's
but
Charlie Ward.
no, that's Simon Parks.
Oh, Parks is doing it. Okay.
Yeah, 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 Yes.
Okay, I like Simon Parks. He's all right. I thought it was Charlie Ward that was doing it, opening up a facility here. Okay. No, you're probably right. I don't watch them anymore, but
Yeah, excuse me 1 minute. I gotta walk this up.
go on. Poor guy. Well, we're gonna end it pretty soon anyhow, because although we didn't talk that much, well, we got a bunch of the flat earth stuff out, but you see, this is what happens.
There's a lot more involved.
It all kind of wibbly wobbly connects together.
Right.
I'll try the next time. I'll try to save or download some things on the flat Earth, and to further discuss it, or there's a few people that have some really good podcasts on it, and yeah, I could bring it in.
I hate to say it, but like the 2 or 3 people that I've watched about flat earthers, like I felt that they were just not good people. Like I felt that I didn't trust them. I
One of
can't,
them is a
I don't
teacher
know
from
their
Florida.
names, but sorry.
Yeah. One of them is a teacher from Florida, and he got fired. And so he started doing these podcasts, and that's how he makes his living now. He's doing the podcasts. He's actually pretty good. I have to find him.
Too
I'll
many
send him
people
some
are making money
stuff.
off of these podcasts and
Wow.
stuff. Listen to me and pay me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
buy it. Look,
Send us some money.
I used to read palms and I read numbers still. I still read numbers, guys. I really do.
Mhm.
I had never, not once, ever charged anybody anything, whether they believed it or not. And I studied it for a long time. So whether it was right or not, it didn't matter. This is what I knew of how to do this stuff. And people would pay for it. And it came to the point where I'd be like, why don't you just get a bottle of wine and we'll have a bottle of wine together? And that will be my payment. Because true psychics or people that really believe in themselves, and it's them that told me, they were the ones that came back to me, oh, you got something right there. Can I hear more? You know, um, I don't believe that the people that are making, I know some have to, they have no choice. But for the good of the world, politicians aren't supposed to make money. For the good of America, they're not supposed to. They're supposed to have their lawyer job, doctor job, whatever job they have, teacher, and then do politics on the side to help America, to
Right.
help their
You're a
state, to help their
politician.
community. It's
Right.
supposed to be free. The
It's
same
not a
goes
full-time
with the
job.
shit that I'm telling you. That's why there is no money. We never ask for money. Joe and I do our best to give you the news almost every day and a bit of conspiracies on the side.
There you go.
And we don't ask for a dime because it's
We're
so
not
much
looking for
easier to
money.
do some research online and then just do a podcast. Give me a fucking break. Anybody
We're
can
not
do
looking
that.
for money.
No, you work
I'm
your
looking
ass
for the
off.
likes.
I know you want likes, and I don't even care about the likes because
I know. I'm just weird. I'm sorry.
well, it shows how many people are watching us and paying attention.
Mm,
Listen, it's either we're going to take off and we're going to get people's attention or we're not.
right.
If I can help 1 or 2 people, and I know I already have, that's
Then
all.
so be it.
Then that's it, right?
Hmm?
Nobody is a savior here. Nobody is Jesus Christ. We can only try to help waking up our brothers and sisters. We can only try. And some people, Dana, would you agree that they're just going to stay asleep? Some people will never wake up to it.
Yeah, it's sort of funny. I've had the discussion about NPCs, what is it? What's it stand for? Non-personal
PCs?
count NPCs, people that are, okay, so in The Matrix, the movie The Matrix, you had people that just exist.
I
Right.
never
And they
watched The
really,
Matrix. Never did.
they are not willing to wake up, or not, they don't have the capability to wake up.
Right.
And they're referred to as NPCs, and they
Never
may
heard
not
that.
even have a soul. I'm trying to remember what that term stands for. Non-personal, non-person content or something
That's
like that.
interesting. All right. So, because one of the conspiracies one of the conspiracies I actually do believe in is that we were all, some of us were born with the extra DNA to help
Mhm.
wake up, and that we are actually, now our souls might be from God, but these bodies are just bodies. They're just tools for us to use while we're on this earth. That's why I believe in the Matrix a little more than the flat Earth. And like I said, if the Matrix says that the Earth is flat, then it's flat. It doesn't matter. We're in a computer generated matrix or a mind generated matrix. We don't know. This could be homegrown matrix. It could be like, actually created or living. A lot of us say the Earth is living.
Well, NPC stands for non-player character.
Non-player. Oh shoot, I knew that. A non-player. I
Yeah.
knew that actually.
Yeah.
Character, I wouldn't have guessed, but
NPC.
It's
what
like a
is the
character in a
moon?
game that's not controlled by a player. The term
Yes.
originated in
Non-player
traditional
character.
tabletop role-playing. So, yeah.
Speaking of games, I'd like you guys to know that in 2010, a man bought two pizzas for his whole family. In 2010, two pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. Just a side note. That's a true story.
In what year?
2010.
2010.
Two, 10,000 Bitcoin for two pies. So 5,000 each. I want you to understand Bitcoin came from gaming.
Yeah.
I don't know what Trump is going to do with crypto. I think he's behind it. I hate the name. I heard of the Dogecoin. I hope they go forward with the Dogecoin. That sounds a lot better to me. Let's get on to this. I just want to ask a few more questions and we'll get off because I didn't realize that I
When
would
are we,
get all these questions.
when's this RV gonna come? When's it gonna, what are your thoughts on that? When is this gonna collapse? When, are we gonna move to the rainbow currency and all that?
I think
What
it's
are your
already
thoughts on
happening in
that?
different countries.
Maybe when they finally actually go into the Fort Knox,
Right.
maybe
That could
that'll
be.
be the catalyst.
Could be. But I heard
And
Iraq
that's what I
started
thought,
it.
Joe. Oh, really? They have a new denomination?
Yeah.
I thought they still had the dinar.
Well, they're getting rid of the pennies, right? See, it's not
Mhm.
all Trump, guys. Trump doesn't come up with all this stuff.
No,
No, no, no.
Could
This
not
was all
possibly
planned out.
can't. Not one man. One man can't. That's too
plans.
He was the face of it.
right.
That's all
That's
he
what.
was.
Didn't we
And
say
he
that
loves
earlier?
it.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
also JFK Jr.'s good friend.
Yeah. That's what we said earlier today. Yeah. You're right. He's the
The
face.
face.
The
And
face.
I love that everybody gives him so much credit.
Yeah.
But what you're not understanding, and he did, he gave
He's
up a
got a
lot of his
team.
life.
Yeah.
But you got to understand how many others have.
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
1 million in our military. Let's say like 50,000 of them are Q. That might be overstatement. I don't know. It could be 10,000. I would imagine it has to be a big percentage. But then you have Q in other countries too, which would add up to like maybe 300,000 Q members or something. What I really want to know is what you think of the moon, because we're going with the flat Earth. What do you think the moon is? Slice of cheese?
I think it's a reflection of the earth. And when you look at it, you can see the earth reflecting in the moon. And not only that, but you can see other areas too. You can see, and so I talked about, see, I wonder whether we see all portions of the moon, or excuse me, all portions, or we know about the entire earth. I suspect there's still parts that have been kept hidden underneath the firmament that we don't know about. But to answer your question, I think it's the moon and the dark spots on it. Those are reflections of the earth.
I've heard this
I think,
before. But I heard that it was an old, it's plasma, right?
Yeah,
And it's an
yeah.
old picture. So it was the Earth, which makes more sense to me, looking at the designs on the moon. They look like continents, people, the gray spots. But then you have the navel of the moon, which I have heard is the center of the dome of the filament, which you believe that there's no hole. But if you look at if the moon is a picture of the Earth, which I can almost agree to, not the recent Earth, but if it is, then that navel, that hole does exist because it's right there in the moon. Big
That
spot on the
hole,
top of the moon.
how about if
Yes,
that
Charles, you
hole?
can. Charles has a question for you, Dan, for Dana. He says he wants to ask a question to Dan Man. What is your favorite proof of the flat Earth?
Charles is a flat earther. He believes in the flat Earth. He believes that
Big
it's
time.
logical and scientifical,
He's like you.
scientific, but
I think I mentioned it earlier that you can go to the
ice,
you
but
can go to the ocean, you can go and take a telescope, and you're able to see long distances
no,
farther than
no,
you
no, no.
could with a naked
Charles
eye.
knows that. Charles knows that.
Yeah, he does know that. What's
Well,
your favorite
wait,
part?
is that what he asked? So maybe that is
Yeah,
your favorite part.
yeah, that's what he asked.
Well, to stand on, is that what he
Yeah.
means? That
He
my
he says, "What's your favorite part in the belief of it?"
What's your favorite proof in flat Earth?
Yeah.
well, that would be one. Also, I was a pilot, and
Hmm.
that I could look across the expansive area. You know, you go up to 10,000 feet and you can see it's flat. It's not rounded. No portion of it is rounded. Okay. Um, I used to live in Western Pennsylvania. And so I would fly into Ohio, Indiana. It's all flat out there. And there's no way that there is any dome. It's flat.
See, and
It,
that's what gets me too. And I believe you. I really do. But when I was a truck driver and I went the farthest north I went was upstate New York. And when I was there, it seemed to me that it was I could look north and it went like that. It was like going, I don't know,
well, you
maybe it
got the
was because
Catskills
I'm
up
used to
there.
being here in a
I
farther
mentioned
south area. I mean, it's flatter here, I guess, but
You got
then
the
you have more of a
Catskills.
curvature up there towards the north,
Yeah.
supposedly.
I mean, you have more mountains. You have the
Mhm.
Appalachians, you have the Catskills, you have a variety of mountain ranges that are in the northern portion. So, I mean, I remember driving into Canada and it was just, I mean, yeah, bluest blue sky. And, but it was just where we drove through, it was just flat. I remember
Mhm.
just, it was flat. And even look out of a plane, look out of an airplane when you're flying along. You don't see any arch to it. And if it's
I
the
disagree.
rough,
I
I
agree.
disagree with that. As an artist, I totally disagree.
Mhm.
There is nothing on this earth that is flat. I mean, you can't draw,
relatively,
even if you're 60,000 feet up, I will not draw what I'm seeing below me flat. Never. It, it's an impossibility. There's nothing flat. Even a house is probably more tilted. It, I can't
I mean,
explain. It's an artsy thing, I think. But
they talk about, the creation of the earth.
is
You had
this
an artist that rendered a picture of what he thought the earth would be, the blue marble. He
right?
actually he said that he did that.
Right.
And then since that time, they've created, you have AI, you have computer systems, you're able to expand it. It's a lie. The globe is a lie.
Why?
And I never,
Just for
okay, so
God?
thank you.
What?
No, 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 it has, if they can make you think that you are so insignificant that there are other civilizations well beyond us, and they're massive, and
And they're
we're
better
just
than
this
us.
little
Hell yeah, I
sand.
do. I
No,
absolutely.
I don't think they are. I
Oh my
really don't.
God.
I think we have no. I think we have certain capabilities, creativity that other species don't
Don't
have,
have.
and that's
Well,
why we are so
that's why
significant.
other species don't eat animals and we do.
Well,
See, you could take
That
it
might be
both
our
ways.
downfall. That might
yeah,
be the what's wrong with us.
But that's what I'm saying. What's the truth? I heard exact opposite of
Who
him.
knows?
But we're both into the conspiracies.
Yeah,
And I've become a vegetarian for over a year now, and he's become a carnivore.
yeah.
See how bad certain things can actually be?
Mhm.
I just that's
but
bad.
I don't think that we are. I think the intent was to make us insignificant so that you
We
feel
are
like,
insignificant.
no, we're
Like what the
not.
we couldn't even
Okay,
control our earth.
we talked about this earlier, okay?
We're little
Is that
ants before anything.
we
Yes.
have the ability to create our environment.
Yes,
There
I
are
agree with that.
many other species that can't do that. We have the ability to do telekinesis. A lot of that has been taken away because of the toxins and um, the chemicals that they have added to our systems all around us, air, water, food, etc. They're purposely trying to kill us and to remove our capabilities. We have significantly greater capabilities than what we are doing now.
I
There's
don't deny
nothing
that.
to stop. There's
But that
nothing to
doesn't
stop us from.
that doesn't really doesn't make us any more significant. So what? So what? We're one of God's children of many. Many, 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 many. What the hell
I
makes
think we
me so
have.
important compared to like you or Betty White?
I'm talking human beings.
You're
Human
talking in
beings.
general human beings?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, if
I
they can
think
dumb
cows
us
are more
down.
important. At least India thinks cows are more important than human beings.
Yes, they do.
You see what I'm saying?
Well,
It's a
and
matter of
I do.
opinion.
Yeah. And I mean also, and I hear what you're saying, Carolyn. Um,
I'm very
I
weird when
mean
it comes to religion, guys. Very weird.
the way like they talk about whales. Whales have the ability to talk to people.
Yes.
You know, I have no idea
Dolphins
what
and
this
whales.
is. Yeah, but they have the ability. I think and I think to your credit, cows are very intelligent. More we've been told that they're stupid.
Right.
I think, and I've seen videos on
Pigs too.
watching them figure things
Pigs are
out. Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, yeah.
And I've been told that animals are a different species, that they're great chameleons. Animals are species of themselves. See, if you believe in like the astral plane, like I believe in the astral plane, so we're just a body on this earth doing what we're told to do. But we're all sitting up there with God, perhaps, or what you want to call heaven, or I will call it the astral plane, being like, oh man, we're still not awake down. It's like a game. We're not awake down there. What else can we do? Did you ever see that episode of Star Trek Next Generation where Data stacks everything to be three? They're stuck in a time loop, right? And they can't figure it out. They're realizing every time that they're starting over the day. And they're having deja vu, which, mind you, is a very human occurrence. And he stacks everything as best he can in like they're playing cards, something in the doctor's laboratory. He does something with the plants, and everything comes out to the number three. Of course, it's a machine doing this. Humans can't do it, right? They can't see it. They can gather through the day that something weird is happening, but the computer data seems to understand, and he's doing it or he doesn't realize that he's doing it, and but he's programmed to do it. to realize at the end, to get out of this paradox, that he has to listen to not to Captain Picard, but Commander Riker, because he has 3 pips. You know, like where we have the chevrons or everything. He's got 3 pips, and to listen to him. I kind of find that we're in this. We're sitting somewhere else, putting pieces of our body or something down here to try to help the earth. And the weirdest thing is why I asked about the moon is because a lot of people believe that the moon, it is actually told in ancient writings. Please don't ask me which ones because I don't really remember. That the moon was never there, and then it was artificially created, which could go along with what you're saying. It could be a picture of the earth. It has to
A
be
reflection.
something, though. Even
It's a
if it's a picture of the
reflection.
earth, it's got to be something.
It's a reflection, not a
Yeah,
picture.
but
It's a
what is it?
reflection.
Is it water then? What's reflecting it?
Some people have called it a
Glass?
spaceship.
Right. I believe I believe it's artificial. It does not look real to me. It always looked artificial to me. So if you want to call it a print or a picture, I could believe that. Or they have said that our bodies are not our minds, not our souls, but our bodies are created there and sent down to become out of a woman, not a man, to give to, to become alive from birth, right? That we're actually created in the moon. I kind of like that because I don't believe that this is me. I believe I was sent here as a soldier to help. That's
What
why,
about the whole thing?
and if God was the one that sent me here, then God's the one that told me, hey, don't think of me during this process because I'll just make it more difficult for you, Carolyn.
I heard something this week. It was interesting. Because,
Yes,
you
sir.
know, nowadays you hear so much. I mean, there's the podcasts are just it's off the wall.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
one
There's
of
so many
them,
to listen to.
yeah, there was one of them, and it said that there is outside, go back to the flat earth, that there is another small earth, I'll call it, that aliens cannot get into. We can, and that's more or less like the heaven. That we're able to go there, we're able to penetrate this barrier and go there, but aliens cannot. And so the aliens are watching us and trying to figure out how they can get inside.
I could see
You know,
that.
but yeah, it was
You've never watched AJ, huh?
AJ.
The
I
What
don't know.
Files?
The
Because
what
guys,
files?
this is more scientific. That to me,
Yeah.
AJ is always going to be the right one. I'm sorry. He's been on Ancient Aliens and all this. Brilliant, brilliant man, brilliant people who ever follow him. And I wouldn't doubt that he is part of Q because I have never seen him on Ancient Aliens before, till Trump got on. I mean, he's been sitting in with William Shatner and all these people. Come on. William Shatner is dead, guys. No, no 90-year-old goes to the crust of space. Come on. But
They never went to space in the first place, but that's another story.
what?
They never went to space in the first place.
Bezos didn't go up there now.
No.
See, that's a flat earther.
Nobody
He's
ever
not going to
went.
change his opinion.
Nobody ever went. Nobody left. You can't because you also have once you get past the outside of our orbit, then you also have what's it called? Oh, it's the Van.
Oh, the
What's that
belt?
guy's? Where Van Belt? Van
Yeah, the
something
belt.
Belt? Yeah. Which
Um,
if
Van
you look
Belt.
at if you look at the spacecrafts and all that, and not only that, well, okay, let me finish this topic, then I'll go into another one that's on the same line. But it would melt going to the Van something belt. The second thing is, have you ever taken a look? Did you ever go up to where the moon module is, where supposedly they landed in this moon module type of thing. And if you look at it, there is nothing there. It's tin foil, for God's sakes.
Yeah, no, I believe
It's
that.
a biggest hoax.
There's a difference between believing in old NASA and believing what happened after 2012. They sent the new rover out in 2012 to Mars. That I believe.
No,
It
you
looks,
know why? You know why?
why
Because
would they still fake it now?
they showed a copy of this location, and it was in, I don't know, I'll just say it was in Arizona, or it was in some foreign country. And then they showed the picture of the rover. Identical, identical.
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
I saw it.
Look, no offense, but I could take any white sanded beach and make it look like Mars. I'm an
Absolutely.
artist. I could do it by hand, I could do it on the computer.
Yeah.
Anybody,
Yeah.
even the bad guys, could have done that.
Yeah.
So I
Agreed.
can't, I mean, photoshopping is like, you can't
Yeah.
really, that's why pictures are so hard. I mean, you can and you can't rely on them. It's really up to your intuition and everything that comes around it.
Yeah.
The one other thing that I wanted to mention is that
Okay.
Bill Black doesn't seem to be here, but he has been a pilot. I've told you about him for many years. He is awake, wide awake like we are, but he does not believe in the flat earth. Now, he's been a pilot for 60 something years, 60 years maybe, and he flew jet planes. And he has as much said before they became so automatic, he would have to put the pitch in for the altitude of the Earth's curvature. He'd have to put it in due to computer systems. This I have two very smart gentlemen, Dana and Charles too, and Patch even, whoever believes in the flat earth. And then a vet, a Vietnam vet who I'm friends with for a very long time, who I know has flown all over the world and still does for a smaller company now, but he's flown big jets. You know, he flew for what was it, Spirit or American Airlines, one of those, for 20 years or something. And he said, I had to take these mathematical courses just for the shape of the earth. What mathematics, I can't remember, quantum theories and stuff. So I have a lot of problems like back and forth, but in general, it doesn't matter what you believe. Just please believe out of the regular realm. Do not fall for all the indoctrination. I don't care if you believe in the flat earth. I care more that you believe Hillary was bad and that she's been taken care of, and that you understand that they were cannibalists, the pure evil souls, that they followed Satan. That's much more important to me. As I like the flat earth theory, I like all theories, honestly. Any conspiracy you could bring up, bring it on the show. I love it. Believe what you want. But at the end of the day, let's try to make sure that we have at least a little different view of what we might have originally thought things were. Because indoctrination definitely went far and deep into our brains. And I believe everything Dana said about them poisoning us and that we're able to use our brains more. Another thing is, if God exists, why the hell didn't he help us? If he didn't, if you're going to tell me, well, that's what we're here for, then that's why I'm saying we're soldiers.
So
We are soldiers.
there's
We're not here to have fun and procreate. Sorry.
so how do you learn? How do you learn about life? If someone or someone just tells you how to do it and they do everything for you, how do you actually learn and grow?
Right.
You have to experience failure. You have to experience pain.
I've never
If you
experienced failure.
don't, yeah,
Just kidding.
If you never experience pain, then then what is happiness? And so we have to experience it all. It's a learning process.
Yes, it is.
And it
Hey,
should
hey,
be for quite a long time in the future, I'm sure. As
Mhm.
much as I believe things are done, it's still going to take a long time for people to get that 15-20% more of their brain working, or understanding the flat earth, or believing that the moon is a picture of us. It's just
hey,
going to take a long time. And
Joe,
I believe, Dana, not everybody's going to wake up.
that
Sorry?
one guy, Charles, and he's a flat earther. Is that
Yeah.
Charles?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. What is his big thing that he stands on to believe in the flat earth?
He said the same thing as you with the telescope.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, these regular everyday people are sending up cameras without fisheye, because you can buy them and, put on fisheyes on them. People make them themselves,
Yeah.
and they send it up in these balloons. This is why I have such a problem. How could the average Joe who can afford, a few $1,000s of shit? Yeah, did you see these drones? Do you see what I mean? These drones, they look like little human beings are piloting them. This technology is beyond. I just don't. I have to say, there has to be aliens, and they have to be out there. I don't believe they can be just on this earth and not been noticed all this time.
Well,
Doesn't seem likely.
once you're outside the dome,
And then,
there's
and
other
wait a
lands.
second, if there were giants, why didn't they just step over the ice wall? I mean, it's like there's nonsense to some of this stuff to me. If there are giants that are 30 feet tall and an ice wall that's, 20 feet, what would it be for them to climb over it?
They
Why
never
aren't they
learn how to
walking all over
swim.
the place? Why didn't they run?
They didn't know
If
how
there
to
were
swim.
places, if there were portals for us, why didn't we go into those portals and hide? There's just too many questions, not enough answers. Again, I'm not saying there isn't or is a flat earth. I am not, I'm 50-50 with it. I really am. I have to somewhat believe it because we are indoctrinated about everything. So why wouldn't flat earth be one of it? One of those indoctrination, you know. But again, I'll tell you, religious people, why wouldn't God be it? Indoctrination? But I mean, like I said, they had the control for thousands of years. Who had the money, the education to write books and read them? Nobody in the 14th, 15th, 16th centuries that made minimum wage was able to read.
Oh, let's step on that for a second. How do you know? How do you know? Okay.
Well, we
How
know
do you know
things
our
were emitted.
calendar is correct? How do you know there's not
I
13
don't believe
months
in the
rather than
Julian
12?
calendar.
Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't,
And
time is irrelevant when it comes to this.
yeah. And they messed up the calendars. There's 13 months, there's not 12.
Yes,
There's 28 days, 13 times 28 plus one extra day. Um,
I believe that, yes.
yeah.
But what does that have to
So
do with it?
if they change the calendar, how do we actually know that this is 2025? How do we know this isn't 1025?
Well, there are some things that are a giveaway. Like if you look,
Like,
you can see old items and know that they're 400 years old just by even looking at them. Now, I'm not saying you're right, you're probably right. I mean, I never thought that mattered. Why does that matter though? Does that mean that they still didn't have control over the printing press? That they could have changed words and say, hey, eat your body, eat Jesus's body and drink his blood, because that's what Satanists do. That's what they do. Do you see what I'm saying, Dana? The
Yeah,
evil does
almost.
that. So wouldn't it be
Wow.
good for them to put it in the Bible and say, "Hey, your Jesus wants to share his blood and body with you." This is a difficult concept because everybody is very religious. I am not. I don't find it difficult. I am not indoctrinated by religion in any which way any religions ever existed. I enjoy them and the theology and the discussions, but when you tell me that you're taking a piece of the body of the person you worship, the being you worship, and you're drinking his blood, to me, that sounds like Hillary Clinton with her kuma. Do you see where I'm coming from? That's why I believe religion is a bit of indoctrination. I'm sorry. Do I believe in good and evil? Do I
So,
believe in forces? Yeah, but is it God? Is it Christ? Is it the way we were taught? Is it the Bible? You're telling me there were 66 books taken out. I knew that already. I
Joseph says you just can't get past that cannibal shit.
Well, because when you know what they had done to little children, Joseph, like fillet a child, Hillary,
Yeah,
this
she
is
did.
called frazzle drip, my friends. Look it up. It's when Hillary Clinton wanted to scare the shit out of a little girl so her adrenochrome would go haywire. She literally filleted the girl's face,
Yeah,
6, 7-year-old, and put it on her face and was mocking her. Google it.
yeah,
Frazzle
she
drip.
did. She did. Okay, hey,
They eat these girls. They drank their blood. So no, I cannot get over it because I'm also a vegetarian now. It is not pleasant to think that I am eating some god's blood and body, even if it's pretend. I pretend this is because some priest, which believe me is pagan, is sitting there fooling around with oils and bread and wine, and that he does poof, 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 and it's now Jesus's blood, which you are drinking. Bullshit, my friends.
and
I'm
Charles has
sorry.
answered you. Charles says the
what
answer
did he
to
say?
Dan Man is the fact that 8 inches per mile squared for the curvature shows the sight across large bodies of water, and you can see structures and mountains which should be below the side of the curve.
Yes,
That's his favorite part of the flat earth.
I
Thank
still
you,
have
Charles.
that picture.
Yeah.
Do you have that picture? Maybe you have it.
During Jesus' time.
I don't think you have it, Joe, but do you have it,
What?
Dana? The picture, he sent us that picture when he was on. Charles came on with us live talking about the
Yeah.
flat Earth.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I've had that. Yeah, I've seen it.
yeah, it's like that there's the two mountains and
Yeah.
but like I said, it's one picture. So some guy decides that I believe in the flat Earth. Let me get on top of this mountain, take one picture.
No, it's proven over and over again in different areas. You can do it yourself. You can go to the beach and you can do it yourself.
Yeah, okay, so
And
let's put it this way now. If the Earth is as large as you say, if it's bigger than we actually know it, then of course we'd see more land mass.
Yeah.
We wouldn't see a curve for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles and miles much
well, you're
longer.
not going to see it because of perspective. Excuse me. It's perspective. And
You're
I
talking
bet
to
you
an artist about
Charles,
perspective here. Let's just be careful what we say.
yeah. So I mean, if you look at if you okay, I work for a line department, and you look at a pole line, and as that pole line gets farther and farther away, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. That's the same thing that occurs with the sun. The sun does the exact same thing. As it gets farther away, it dims. And then it turns around and it actually does a figure eight and comes back and then goes back around again. It comes back and goes back around again. And they've proven it. They've shown that they can follow the sun and the movement of the sun. The sun does not go around us like it says. That's a big lie. It does sort of a figure eight, comes back around.
And it's on
But
top
that
of
would
it.
mean that it would come up from the west at some time, but it always comes up from the east. It sets in the west.
Right. It
If they
doesn't,
did it at a figure eight, it would come up in the east, set in the west, then come up in the west and set in the east. And it would be
if
just
it
keep
was
going
flat,
around like
he's
that.
right. It doesn't make sense, some of
It
it.
doesn't.
Some of it
A
does.
lot
And
of
then,
it
if I can get, I'll
but
see if
there,
I
but
can't get a video and I can send it to you. It makes sense. It does.
Dana is suggesting, okay, first of all, I believe like he's suggesting like Patch that the element is inside the firmament. The sun is inside the
Hmm.
firmament. That's what
Yeah.
Patch believes as a flat earther.
Yeah, you know what? It,
Because if it's inside
the firmament. It all depends on so are there, and I've heard so many different perspectives on this. Are there different layers of the firmament? And in one layer, you have the sun and the moon, and another layer, you have the stars and etc. So those are the different layers.
I
I've
see, I
heard
see.
that.
So it might
I've
not
heard
be
that.
inside it could be in one of the,
One of the ones outside.
what is it made of? What is this firmament made of?
It's an oxygen. Um, it's a frozen oxygen content. They've actually mined it, and I've seen videos on this where the guy talks about it, where they've mined it. But the thing is, as soon as it catches, it's extremely cold, and as soon as it catches any heat, it just dissipates. It's sort of like dry ice in a
Blue
sense.
ice. You think it's blue
Blue
ice
ice.
then?
Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting. Now, I've never heard that before. And I do believe in
So
blue ice.
And so I can see if I can find information on that. There was a guy that actually, he was there and he witnessed it and he reported back on it.
What, the blue ice
And
or being on the firmament?
the blue ice.
I've
And
seen that the soldier. He was like, or he wasn't the soldier. The
uh,
soldier showed him.
yeah, it was at a laboratory.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
do remember that.
And so they're mining supposedly for this blue ice, whatever they're going to use it for, I have no idea. But that's one of the things that they do. That's also another reason that they don't want us to go to the ice wall, because one is they want us to continue the global theory, and so that we believe that. Two is that they're mining blue ice and they don't want anybody to know about that for whatever reason. I don't know. Now, another thing is that you can only drill so deep in the earth and you hit something that is impenetrable. And the Russians did this, and I can't remember how many miles they drilled down, but they drilled down to a point and they couldn't go any farther. That was it. They hit something.
They hit some kind of metal that they've never heard of or seen before, or
A composite, whatever the composite is.
composite they couldn't get through. I got that.
And the blue ice, the thing is, and again, I'm pulling this from the topics that I've read about blue ice or listened to about blue ice, is that the blue ice repairs itself. You'll go in and you'll dig it up, and then as soon as it's a short period of time, it fills itself back in. So
It's not cold to the touch, though, is it? I don't remember them saying it was cold to the touch. I remember them
can't
saying
remember.
when it melted in his hand, but it didn't melt as
Yeah.
water. It turned to gas.
Dissipates, yeah,
Yeah,
like dry ice in a
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, but I guess it was pretty cold. I can't remember the details of it. I'm trying to pull this all out. It's been a while since I've.
Charles says you can travel around the magnetic North Pole and east and go around the circle Earth because the Earth is around. Yes, that's
Yeah,
another perspective.
agreed.
Like the Earth can always be round, regardless of what you think. It's still round. It's just
Yeah,
a different perspective.
agreed.
Perspective,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I don't honestly believe it's flat. I
I
just
mean,
nothing. Okay, did you ever hear that this is the last thing. I think we'll end it here because Joe is exhausted. And you look pretty tired yourself, my friend. Did you ever hear that the spiral, like a mollusk shell, is the fingerprint of God?
Hmm.
That's a flat earth theory. That's a flat earthers theory. I
Never heard
learned
of
it
that.
from flat earthers.
Yeah, never
That
heard
the
that.
that the spiral is actually the
Man,
fingerprint of God.
I never heard that.
Charles, what do you think?
That's interesting.
It's it's the Fibonacci
Good night, Alan.
sequence.
Alan says good night.
Good night, Alan. I think I said it before.
Oh.
And it's the fingerprint of God. Now, maybe that is the earth. It's flat in a spiral. It's got spirals, and we're in the center. Hey, like I said, I'll argue for and against it. Because a spiral
Some
really
of it
isn't
makes
like
sense. Some of it does. I'll admit some of it does make sense
it's in
to me.
flowers. It's in
Some of it
the
doesn't.
water. The water makes spirals. You know, when you're going down, like the water is sinking, everything makes a spiral. The belt that we can't remember in space eventually comes to a spiral.
Yeah.
Trees, the leaves, the veins, our DNA. Our DNA cellular structure is a spiral. I mean,
Van
I know
Allen,
they show it like little points and everything, but
Van Allen radiation belt.
that's it, Van Allen. That's it. And why did they call it radiation? Like, do they know? Did they put up did they take some kind of gas test up there? Or is it like, don't ever go to the belt because it's got radiation? Who knows? All right, guys, I think we'll call it a night. I hope you enjoyed it. I
It was
certainly
good.
did. I
It's
found out
one
a lot.
I
o'clock
learned a
there for
lot.
you.
Thank you, Dana. You
1
did
o'clock
No, it
teach
was
me
kind
a
of
little
fun.
bit. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yep. Nope. Thank you. It was
Well, we're
good.
gonna
I
do this again
continue.
in a couple of Saturdays. You're welcome to come on because it's not always going to be about Earth, of course, flat Earth, of course, but the conspiracies we mentioned today, we bring back up and we add new things and we tweak it, and you're always
You
welcome on.
know, what would be good is give me a heads up on topics that you're going to cover, and then I can do some research ahead of time.
That's the
Okay.
problem. See, what we tend to do is Joe will do the news, and I'll kind of take whatever news he's got and kind of spin the conspiracies on them with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
We never really have, you see, we're not a real podcast. We're not professionals. We're just
Yeah.
freaking people trying to
Yeah,
So,
we're
help.
just human beings, just like everybody else out there.
so I need to come up
Okay.
with another joke, is what you're telling me.
Pretty
Yes,
much. That's what we
please.
do in the beginning.
Yes,
We tell
sir.
a
We
joke,
like
and
jokes.
yes, yeah, I loved it.
Jokes
I
are
loved the
fun.
poem. That was
Yep.
really
That
good.
poem was great.
Timbuktu.
It was great. It was great.
You gotta
Okay.
send it to me. I gotta tell the husband that he's gonna laugh.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
But in
Okay.
general, you know what you can do? Any topic you want. This is how free we are. You saw we just went back and forth about things. If you have a topic you want to bring up,
Yeah,
come on and bring it up.
that's
Nobody's
right.
gonna stop you. By all means, I don't have show prep. I don't care. Sometimes I have a few notes, dates and names. I suck at names. But that's it. It's all about having fun and educating ourselves and
Yeah.
unindoctrinating ourselves. That's
Yes.
the biggest
That's
thing.
the main thing. Is
Main
getting
thing.
undoctrinated.
All right, guys.
Undocumented.
Say bye,
Unindoctrinated.
y'all. I love you.
Good
I'm
night,
sending
everybody.
you.
Love you. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you, Dana. Appreciate it.
Have a good
Dana, it
night.
was great having
That
you.
was fun.
It
Thank
was.
you.
Helen, Alan, Joseph, Charles,
Good
and
night,
a whole
everybody.
bunch of you. Thanks for stopping, and I'm so
Yeah,
happy it worked out.
it
Take
was.
care,
It was
all.
cool. Peace.
Good night.